Hello and welcome to EGFC Season 5. We're here. We've got some great Overwatch action coming at you. And we have got quite the banger to kick it off. We've got Marquette University versus the University of Delaware. My name is KOA and I am here with Lord Loki. Loki, how are you doing? Are you excited to kick off this day of exciting Overwatch action?
Doing very well. I'm very excited as well. Both of these teams have a lot of history behind them, especially in the EGF, so it should be incredibly exciting. To take a look at what is our schedule right here, we're starting off the day with Marquette versus Delaware, moving right into Auburn versus William and Mary, and finishing it out with the late night game as usual. Hawaii this time facing off against Bowling Green State University.
That's a really it's a great matchup here. All of these names very familiar if you've spent any amount of time in this scene. So as we look at our first matchup, you got Marquette University, the Golden Eagles versus the Blue Hens. Now, Loki, I've got a bold prediction. I think that the winner of our game, our first game, is going to be a team with a blue and yellow color scheme. With a bird as their mascot. Just putting that out there. I think that's what it's gonna be. But we've got the rosters in our minds, but
and
really
on the screen as well.
And on the screen as well. Look at that. Time to light our wonderful producer quick on the draw.
Yeah, Stomps, Reach for No Help, Axehand, Mickey, and Royal Ranger for Marquette. Meanwhile, University of Delaware, we got Ideal, Warrior, TVD, Man, Carter, Hyper, and Syrup. That Marquette roster is absolutely insane. Stomps is a huge player to look out for on the tank. They have put in a ton of work. Royal Ranger as well on that support role. Great job of keeping everybody alive while not taking a whole lot of deaths themselves. Meanwhile, on Delaware, didn't get to see them last week, as sadly they were on that other stream, but in that first week, they were able to take a straight 3-0 over Montana State. Didn't drop a single map. I don't believe they dropped a single round either. So they are looking incredibly clean, especially after coming off another 3-0 last week against RIT.
So two powerful teams, Delaware Esports coming in against a heavyweight. You got Ideal Warrior, TV Damon, Carter Hyper Syrup. I mean, as well. Very, very powerful, very strong. I don't have as much experience with these. I did not have the joy of casting them, but from what you've seen, we've got two heavyweights to kick off the night, and we have our set map pool. We got Oasis, Eichenwald, Saravasa, and if needed, Route 66 and Esperanza. So that's your 5 map set, and if we get a draw on Eichenwald, well, You'll just have to see if we get that. But I think it's Dorado actually, but regardless, that's your 5 map set. So what are we thinking about this set just generally for compositions that we're going to see, and which team is this going to play more to the favor of?
Yeah, it should be pretty interesting across the board here. Oasis gives a wide variety of maps to roll through. We tend to see a little bit more brawl, a little bit more dive on Oasis compared to a little bit more zoning of a comp. Meanwhile, Eichenwald, of course, are really, really brawl heavy. And then Suravasa, we saw that map in week 1, and it seemed to be a little bit of a knuckleball for these teams. You either really had an idea of how to deal with it, or you had no idea how to deal with it. Delaware, one of the teams that handled it very, very well. Marquette struggled a little bit more. Granted, they were playing up against Hawaii, which they're Hawaii. They're probably the favorite team in the EGF right now for Overwatch, but still had a pretty hard time at fighting back against on that Flashpoint. So I wouldn't be surprised if Flashpoint kind of ended up being one of the maps that decides the pace and the overall tide of this game. And if I had to pick anyone for it right now, I'd have to go with Delaware, just because they've looked so convincing on that Flashpoint map these last 2 weeks.
Bold prediction. I I have to put my money behind Marquette. Um, if no reason other than just to be a bit of a just to be a bit of a contrarian. But we're loaded into our first round. We've got a big match ahead of us. Here we go.
That should be incredibly interesting. Both of these teams coming out with very differently paced comps here. Marquette wants to take the fight right to him. Meanwhile, Delaware already on the Sigma. We want to see them set up those angles and play this a lot slower. The question is, are they going to have time to ever set that play up?
Yeah, well, the Sigma's going to play very aggressive as well, stunning that Junker Queen already in, playing around this tight choke. There goes the engage, and a huge anti-nade from Hattie, but Carter still finds the pick. Another one for Carter in this May, from Carter picking up a 3rd kill. University of Delaware cleans house.
Yeah, I love this May pick from Delaware right now. Their comp wants to be that ranged comp. They want to keep the aggression, the brawl off of them as much as possible. And so setting it up with this, where they can have the May to basically force that space, slow any entry, just give them a Delaware more time to play with, I feel really opens up a lot of their options. On Marquette, they've still just got the one, even with that Rhine chains. The only real option they have is press the W key and hope.
Well, we'll see if the hope comes out better this time. The wall can't find any picks. It's going to put some pressure onto Delaware. No picks, regardless. They're going to have to push through, but into the window. Xomps goes down, and now comes the engage. The wall blocking them off into the corner, and Syrup and the rest of Delaware take them out.
Oh, very quickly. Throwing my projection off the edge of the ship. Delaware here looking incredibly. I don't know, as I was. Delaware was who I predicted. I'm so sorry. I switched sides. It confused my brain. But no, Delaware looking really, really good here. I like that they're really controlling the pace of this game. And now that they're getting these ults locked up as well, that Sigma ult going to be brutal going in this Marquette squad, who are all stacked on top of each other. And, that's not nice.
There's the flux in from Ideal to slam them down to the ground. Immortality can't save you for too long. And it's another sweep from Delaware.
And Marquette not being able to find their way. I think this Mickey pick onto Mercy is starting to look a little bit rough at this point.
This is BM. This is BM.
That's brutal.
This is BM from Delaware.
Well,
Just pushing
Delaware
in.
gets their first kill of the game. Or Marquette does, at least. So
they get one. They're switching on to the Widow. This is just 100-0, and the Spawn Door challenge completed.
An incredible showing starting out there by Delaware, able to just send it through. Only one death on the day, and it's from extending just a little bit extra, if you will. Amazing performance
A little
by
bit
them.
too
And as we
far.
move into the next map of Oasis, should it be very interesting. I really think it's going to continue to come down to that very macro style of play. That's not typically the comp that we see from teams on that map of Oasis. Normally, we do see something more like what Marquette came out with. At the end of the day, though, if you're good enough at your comp, it doesn't matter what the meta is. It just matters what you can play. And there, Delaware not only set themselves up well with a comp that they were good at, they set themselves up well with a comp that could easily counter what Marquette was putting out.
And we're right back into it with the early wall coming in from Delaware, using that spring pad to its highest advantage. There comes the engage with the bounce pad. Marquette playing this D.Va, trying to control high ground, but they're pushed off, and that D.Va might just get desuited immediately. Mickey's gone on the Lucio, but that's just it. Ideal Warrior and the University of Delaware standing tall.
Ideal Warrior just continuing to be a wall against this Marquette squad. And that combined with the actual wall that Carter has right now is just meaning that everyone has all of the space they could ever want. Ideal Warrior already moving up to gain a little bit more space, push back the group of Marquette. And because of this, you can see Syrup has all the time in the world to play DPS, get that ult percentage up. DVD Man has all the time in the world to just take their shots, not have to worry about taking damage, not have to worry about their own safety. And it's just fueling this Delaware squad right now.
It really is. And now trying to engage, there's the wall to cut off the D.Va, and the trap coming right in. Marquette, what a smart window from Syrup, just trapped in that side. Syrup's gonna go down, but that's all that Marquette can find.
Yeah, Stumps here switches to the D.Va, try to counter the Mei wall a little bit. Usually that flight is really, really good for baiting out the wall, or finding the opportunity. You get walled, you can fly back out. Issue is here, we're playing on this map of Oasis, and you gotta get through doorways here. So it doesn't matter how much you can fly, you still have to get through the doorway. That can get closed off pretty dang well. And Delaware is using these doorways to their advantage. They're recognizing, and they have to come through these points, even if they come through strong. They're just gonna get walled off. And so they're forcing out the D.Va, even when they're counter picking exactly for them.
Oh.
Or just getting at the Lucio, who you're not supposed to be able to wall.
The beat comes through just to keep the Lucio alive, but there's the blizzard in the back. Oh, University of Delaware are just taking charge.
I don't think Marquette's going to have another fight after this one. Delaware just looking so incredibly strong. The Blue Hens, they've got all they could want. Here, we're going to see Reach for No Help on the last desperate overclock.
Oh?
Axan's going to get one kill. I don't know that they're going to find too terribly much more from that, though.
They've got a chance. They have the ult to potentially start a comeback. There's the ult, but it's stunned in the middle of the air. Doesn't go into the backline the way Stomps wanted. And it's just going to get the mech deleted. And Carter and Ideal Warrior will surge right back. 200-0. University of Delaware they are absolutely tearing through Marquette's defenses.
And with a little bit of desperation on their side, they find a bit more than they have in the past. Able to get a couple more kills out there, good ults able to come through, but at the end of the day, Delaware is just controlling this game. It seems like Marquette is at most living off of the opportunities that Delaware is giving to them, and Delaware is not giving a whole lot. The only time we've seen Marquette really able to make progress is when Delaware overextends and tries to have a little bit of fun with it, and I mean, you really can't blame them. They have the pace of this game down just about perfectly against this Marquette squad. They figured out pretty early on, hey, Marquette wants to play aggressive. They want to play this brawl. They want to sit on top of each other. Let them. Let's play a comp that just utterly takes all of that away from them. And usually we see these Sigma comps up against a brawl trying to give themselves space in order to extend out the amount of time that a brawl has to spend just walking at them. This is not the case here. Delaware is just able to sit in their choke points, heavily focus them, and because their tank is doing such a good job, because Ideal Warrior is able to just step up in the pocket and block everything else out, no one is able to get to the rest of the team. And so they don't have to extend the distance. They can just rely on Ideal Warrior to be a wall and their very real Mei wall to be a wall and take out the targets for them, control the pace that way.
And I mean, you talk about Carter's Maywalls with incredible Maywalls. I will completely give you that, but I think we're not talking enough about just how good Carter is at May just in general. That first fight, when we were walking into this in the university, and Marquette University were also walking in to this fight starry-eyed and bushy-tailed, and just hit the most massive 3K, immediately shut that team down and deflated them for the rest of the round. It seemed like they couldn't recover from that first single fight. And that's impressive coming out from Carter on this May. That is good aim, and that is good game knowledge.
Yeah, I mean, they've got it down on the icicles. Those icicles are devastating, especially if they're hitting heads, and Carter is really making a use there. That's only the big thing with May is they're really good in close range, but you can't really hit their long range shot. Not today. And so it doesn't matter that typically we want to see a May pushing into the fight because they've got their long range projectiles on lock. The comp that Delaware is playing right now doesn't work if they're playing with 1.5 DPS. DVD Man's good. They're not that good. I don't know that anyone is good enough in the EGF here to be able to, completely overcome a deficiency in the DPS composition. This time, though, it's just not mattering because Carter is so good with the mechanics. It's letting the rest of the macro flow here for this Delaware squad. And going into Eichenwald, if Delaware is on defense, I don't know that they really need to change anything about their comp. Maybe switch out the May on Streets phase, but for the rest of it, it looks clean. I mean, if it's working, then there's no reason to fix it.
If it ain't broke, don't darn well fix it. And 200-0 is about as far from broke as you can be.
Yeah, I mean, we saw Delaware there struggling to die, much less, struggling to give up any percentage on the point. I think there was maybe 3 deaths throughout the entire of those first two maps, averaging, about 1.5 death a map, or death a round rather, which not a bad place to be. If I had to choose how many deaths I wanted per round, I think that'd be pretty close to the ideal target there. And it's just, it really is just amazing there. And we saw that they're so good at giving themselves options with the comp they're playing as well. They weren't just capturing and separating the D.Va from the rest of the team. When the Lucio was trying to jump through with speed, with mobility, it's a character that generally you're not trying to catch with wall. That's generally a bad target to catch with the wall. Didn't matter this time. They were even separating the Lucio out, taking advantage of their positioning, catching them in a corner with the wall and taking them out, while also swinging a DPS around to capture the May and make sure they had nowhere to go, or capture the D.Va as I was, make sure the D.Va had nowhere to go, isolating both of those targets, pinning the D.Va down, no way they could help their friends, no way they could get out of that room. Meanwhile, everyone else on Marquette, just without their tank, is completely opened up. They don't have their Lucio to escape. I mean, that's a really good awareness by Delaware there to be able to identify not just the highest value target, not just the one win con, but different win cons as well that they can bring into the picture and understand, like, hey, I don't need to just take out the D.Va. I can take out the Lucio. And going on to this next map, we're going to see pretty much the same thing from Marquette, sure enough. We're going to see, Marquette taking Delaware's comp, mostly, aside from the Axe Hand on Junkrat instead of the May. Meanwhile, Delaware has adapted to a Ramatra comp from attack, and I really, really love this. They poured everything into about the engagement for their fight, just taking it right in, all the resources right at the start. If Delaware doesn't get a kill or 2 off of their engagement, this comp is going to have a really hard time breaking through.
Oh, Carter gets taken down early. Marquette just burst through. They're not out of this now. It's going to need a lot more than that. Already that Raptors Vortex thrown out. Great rock. Royal Ranger gone, though. The Baptiste, that center of healing, is destroyed, and that Mercy is not gonna last much longer. Ideal Warrior pushing into the back, sectioning off the Junkrat, and it is Delaware to capture first point.
Syrup doesn't really seem to care what support they're on. I think they think they're a DPS, no matter what character it is. Because we saw them putting out insane damage on Baptiste, not a ton of final blows, but good consistent damage. Now as Syrup, or a Syrup on the Moira, we are seeing those final blows. Which, this is a character that, you know, they do damage, but they're known for their insane kind of like burst healing. Just throwing a ton of resources all at once into all of your team. This time, though, making him look like a soldier almost.
Yeah, Syrup already using that Coalescence, dodges out of the way of the accretion, Stomp goes down. Oh, it's not looking good for Marquette. They are just one small bang and out.
Yeah, I mean, this is what Delaware is tuned to do. You know, they want to take their engagement. They want to find any single opening, and then just everyone pushes W at once. Everyone pushes all of their abilities at once. And if they don't find a return on that, it's gonna stall out. None of these characters are built for long engagements, with the exception of maybe May. In the meantime, though, if you can get all the resources out at once, who cares?
Oh, Marquette are using so many resources. The Riptire into the back will stop the Moira, and Marquette will stop the bleeding for just a moment, but will they? 2 players down. Ideal Warrior with the ult, and Ideal Warrior can't find it in the end, and Hyper barely stays alive.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a fight, though, that you love to win as Marquette when it really comes down to it. You had to use 4 ults there. The only thing you have left is the window. Meanwhile, Delaware only using 2. Generally, you want to use, you know, the same amount or 1 more than the other team, or else it just becomes unsustainable. That one fight's just going to lead to more issues in the future, and I think Delaware might start feeling that here when they don't have a support ult to counter Overclock or May Blizzard.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for Marquette. They have to push through, and there's the Blizzard. Reach gone, and it's just a bloodshed. University of Delaware will take second point off of this. They'll have so much time. I think they're going to have nearly 5 minutes on the clock.
Mickey, I think she's having a really hard time on this Mercy. I love the Mercy pick. I think it's great to, you know, empower your DPS. I just don't think the comp is built around having a Mercy right now when it all comes down to it. I think you either need more mobility or more stability with the comp that you're playing. Mercy is really not providing either of those.
Good accretion. Ideal Warrior pushing through, but just can't find a way through the Sigma. There goes the Vortex, trying to catch someone out. There's the wall onto the Sigma. Reach gone. Ideal, swinging for the fences, and that's Delaware keeping on rolling.
And just like that, they're looking at 4 minutes on the clock. Still a railgun shot ready to come out.
Wow.
If they catch out the tire, not even gonna matter. 4-1. What a insane time bank to have here. I mean, we've seen teams complete things fast in the EGF, but this is on another level. 4-0-1. You start with less time at the beginning of a game.
Yeah, that means I believe that it took University of Delaware, I think that's 3 minutes 59 seconds. 4 minutes 59 seconds. Counting's hard, everybody. Counting's really hard.
I mean, I can only count to 4.
Time.
When it really comes down to it, so. Ooh, Marquette here. I like this a lot better. I like that a lot better. I mean, Mickey, she seems very, very confident on this Mercy. I think being able to have something with that Flora supplies them a lot better, especially on this defense on point A, where you can really fly around that first tower and pull a lot of dividends out of it. I think this is the best thing to do. We see Mercy play best when they're accompanied by a DPS that kind of does their own thing. And Farah absolutely works for that. I really do like that pick in the backline. I think the Cassidy to, you know, go up with the Sigma in the middle, it also works great. And then Kirito just for, you know, straight up survivability. There's not a whole lot that I dislike about Marquette's comp for this first point.
Yeah, I also love Kiriko from Royal Ranger, but we'll have to see if they can push through the defense of Delaware, because they are liable to fall very, very far if they cannot get something going here. They have the May completely in the center of their team. Delaware needs to engage those and protect them, and they will escort that May back into the backline without even a pick, and they'll take out Stomp's 10. Even when Delaware makes a mistake, they come through and they fix it. DVD is just elite.
Yeah, I mean, I think Delaware's kind of found the code against this Marquette squad. When you're playing a Pharah, especially a Pharah Mercy, or against a Pharah Mercy, there's two options. You either take out the Pharah Mercy first and kind of bunker around, or you take out the people on the ground first and just play aggression into them as fast as possible. Delaware finding that out real quick there and taking the fight right to Stomps.
Yeah, and it's smart because they don't have the hit scan to try and take down the Pharah, so they just play on the ground, and that's exactly what they're gonna do. TVD man already with the pick, and there's another and another cleaning up, and Syrup will take out the Pharah. Delaware just deadly.
Yeah, they're making really good use of their positioning as well. That middle tower, it's so good for Pharah because it allows you to kind of fly around, play the corners, play the area. But I really like how Delaware is using it against Pharah as well. They're making sure to position an area where at any given time they can cut off that sight line instantly, not get hit by the rockets, while still capitalizing on the people on the ground. You're seeing Delaware here wait for Marquette to advance into a position that Delaware likes better before they full commit onto them.
Kitsune Rush coming in from Royal Ranger. There's a flux in the air, slamming them down. There's one pick. Ideal Warrior. Oh, Delaware. Ideal Warrior gonna go down, but it's just not enough. Every one pit that Marquette University gets, it's 20 coming through from Delaware.
I mean, it's just Delaware seems to have their pacing down. They seem to really have their game plan. Going into this next one, though, going to be interesting. Marquette going to have an ult advantage if they can get reach for no help, just a little bit of damage before this fight's going. And if they can get a good freeze with that barrage, it's going to be brutal, but not if the barrage from Carter comes first.
Barrage from Axehand drops down TVD, but Axehand's gone. Carter from long range. What a shot from the May Wunderkind.
I mean, and that was an ult that needed to land, and it needed to land with, I think, reach for no help as well. You know, get everyone set up, or, you know, pair it with the Sigma, pair it with something there. Just that Pharah ult on its own is just so incredibly vulnerable, and I almost feel that there's not much of a win con left for Marquette here at this point.
Yeah, they're gonna flux, but it's gonna be a beat immediately to respond. And they can find nothing. Immediately the res comes out. Maybe some pressure onto Ideal, who's gonna take themselves out. But for the 4 now, Axehand gone. TVD is a force to be reckoned with. Sliding over the top, trying to find the pick. The May uses the Blizzard, trying to zone off TVD. No picks from it. Stomps, finds Syrup. That could be the end, but TVD has something to say about it. Slides over to the health pack. But so much pressure onto the point. Stomps 10, finds another. It's the Doomfist. Ideal Warrior nearly finding the pick on the May. Nikki gone, and she is just rolling through. Ideal Warrior finds another, but TVD's gone. That's not enough, but Delaware finally broken through. Here's the Lucio trying to stall out. They're really trying to keep this point. They want the 3-0 rather than the 3-1 Loki, but it won't be enough. Eventually the dam will burst, and University of Delaware cannot full hold, but there's gonna need to be a reckoning for Marquette to match this time bank.
I mean, I don't hate the decision to just send it. I think when you have a win that you're close to, committing to it is not a bad idea whatsoever, especially when you've already used a lot of the ults that you would be keeping. I think really pressing Marquette and forcing them as well to switch on to different carriers or characters is a really good choice here. Only issue is now they're on a little bit of an interesting comp for this next one, but Ideal Warrior looks very confident.
And they're gonna take out Mickey. The dive is there. Carter already finding 2 and just diving in on the supports. Somehow University of Delaware on this circus composition, they're running with the clowns.
Yeah, I love that so much. Carter working on the
Wow.
May, now they're working on the Tracer, and just absolutely acting like a janitor there. Ideal Warrior comes in, hits all the cleave damage, gets everyone low, and Carter immediately there to clean up the mess. Send Marquette back to spawn, and now Hyper's playing DPS a little bit.
They're just spawn holding. Loki, this is dastardly. This is just evil. Axiom can't even flank in the backline because the backline is their spawn.
Gotta die at this point, Axan. Like, you're... Oh, and you got found out. That's not a good recall.
Oh, no.
Goodbye, friend. Yeah. I mean, that's fine. They needed to die. You know, you gotta regroup at that point. All you're doing by staying away is forcing a little bit longer. But as Carter falls there, maybe an opportunity now for Marquette.
Yeah, there's the Meteor Strike going into the back Delaware. Ideal Warrior is trying to be devious, but can't find the pick. Just have to run away, and Delaware is in a bit of trouble with the ults.
Bit of a trouble with the ults and not in the position that they wanted to be playing at this point. They really like that arch, especially for the Doomfist, because it forces everyone in the same location. Now, though, they don't have that opportunity. They're going to have to play a lot more spread out.
No,
How is Syrup still alive?
Syrup is actually just in the back line with the window, and they just have to ignore him. Marquette cannot do a damn thing about it. University of Delaware have just shut this down completely. The overtime wick is going to start to burn.
That was ambitious.
That was certainly ambitious there, Syrup. I mean, you gotta admit.
I love it. Like, hit it, but ambitious. Now in overtime, though, for Marquette. No real ults on the table other than that grab, and this isn't a team from Delaware that's going to be very goofed up at any given point. No ults on the table really for either team here that are a big win con. Stomps here looking most likely to try to grab that backline or the Sojourn to find a kill, but
what backline?
Everyone from Delaware just staggers in.
Yeah, this is a bit sloppy coming in from Delaware, but they're still looking to clean up. There's the Flux from the Sigma, nearly stepping off the cart, but the res comes in, and Delaware doesn't have the manpower to keep it going, but Ideal Warrior might just be the one-man army. Not enough. There's Hyper trying to stall out. It's 3 characters left, but Syrup takes out Mickey. Syrup takes out 2. The bloodthirsty support, and is gonna go down. And what have I just witnessed, Loki? I mean, Delaware won.
I mean,
what did I just witness?
That was an entire streets phase long stagger from Delaware. The moment they lost arches, they never really had a clean team fight after that. They kept losing 1 or 2 before the fight ever actually started. And it didn't seem to matter. I mean, seriously, get to the end there, have a 1v4 opportunity, starts off as a 2v4, turns into a 1v4. It just doesn't matter. They just can't find the kill on any one player from Delaware fast enough. Delaware, such a good job playing their cover, choosing their sightlines, finding their positioning, rotating that ability usage, staying alive just long enough for their friends to get back and keep the pressure on, keep it moving, keep the damage. And then while they're there, not only stay alive, but do enough damage against the key targets there from Marquette in order to find the win. Like you saw instantly, the moment Hyper is coming through, they're gunning for the Mercy. They know, hey, Mercy's going to keep everyone alive here. If we don't kill Mercy, we don't win this fight. It's the insane shots while speeding around at the speed of sound in order to get the headshots, set themselves up so that Hyper can come in, finish the meal, and just continue to hit those kunai. Put up ridiculous damage while staying alive due to the fact that, I mean, Kiriko's got that insane mobility and the Suzu. I mean, that's just an amazing showing across the board by Delaware right there.
Truly an amazing showing. And, I mean, for Marquette, down to, oh, if the reverse sweep is going to happen, it's going to happen right here, right now. But we're going to give them the time to have a bit of a break, get some water, and have some time for us to have a little bit of break and get some water as well. So We'll be right back after this short break. Don't go anywhere. Don't change the Twitch channel. We'll see you shortly. I'm
Well, welcome
sorry.
back, everybody.
I'm sorry. We usually let me take you behind the curtain here for a second. Normally when you're a caster and you're about to like transition back into the actual like live stream cameras, this part of the game, your producer will go 3, 2, 1, you're live. Um, our wonderful producer Time to Light went 3, 2, 1, your mom. So I broke immediately at the start, but we're back with some interesting Overwatch so far. We've had University of Delaware in the driver's seat the entire time against Marquette University. And for University of Delaware, I mean, they've just been in control the entire time. 4 minutes and 1 second time bank on Eichenwald. And now going into Saravasa up 2-0, is there anything, Loki, that you think Marquette can do to stop the reign of terror that has been the first 2 maps of this game?
And if there's a map to do it on, it's Saravasa. We've seen that Marquette really wants to lean on that Brawl Cup. They want to lean on speed. They want to lean on aggression. And if there's a place to do that on, it's Saravasa. Saravasa forces you almost to play in that way due to one, flash points. They last like, I thought it was like 40 seconds, I believe. There's not really any room to maneuver, especially on Saravasa. Saravasa really packs you in like sardines. Makes you gather up like a picture like you're all friends and don't actually hate each other. And basically forces a boxing match on every single point here. So if there's a time where you want to play brawl, if there's a time where you want to play aggressive, Saravasa is the place to do it. I mean, bar none. If you want to turn it around, this is the best map to make that happen here. And I think once you get one win as Marquette, at that point, everything else after that just kind of starts in a momentum. Once you've found your footing, you're really able to push outwardly from that. As we go into this next map, both of these teams not going for the Brawl TM. Marquette going for a bit of a brawly dive flank comp. Meanwhile, Delaware kind of has that brawl.
We'll have to see if Marquette can come into their own on a bit of a more poke comp, but that Stomps 10 immediately bursts down. Picks coming in, TVD, another, and that's Delaware continuing the narrative.
Yeah, I do like the sub out for Hattie on this map. I don't think a Mercy would be able to find a ton of entry here. The issue is, though, they're still not playing Lucio, and you need a Lucio on these flashpoint maps. Like, that's really all there is to it. You need one to rotate. You need one to get back quickly. And Marquette without one here, it's not looking, it's not looking super great.
No, it really isn't. Stomps 10 trying to play aggressive. They're just going to get run over, and Zippy is found out on the back. And it's Carter looking for more, and TVD is just deadly. I mean, these DPS of Delaware are dynamic, dastardly duos.
And Marquette here is not going to get a second fight. They had a really, really good regroup after the first one to make sure they stayed within contact. They were able to get back in, start the fight early, possibly give themselves a chance to take 2 fights, but they died too quickly, and they don't have a Lucio. And so, just like that, we're going to see Delaware taking this point without a second contest. And Marquette's amazing regroup after the first fight isn't even going to matter. Delaware here, able to just keep the pressure on. And due to the bad luck of Marquette, Marquette's not even going to get a chance to set up on this next point early. Delaware's already there.
Delaware just rushes right to the point, and well, it looks like it is just not looking good for Marquette. They're going to have to ingress onto this point right into a comp that loves to do that, and there's the window right in the engage. Ideal Warriors jumping in, Hattie goes down, and that's Syrup finding another. And that's the fight. Delaware just take another.
I mean, just looking clean throughout there, able to, basically push Marquette into a room, and once they've got him in there, Delaware is so good at choosing their targets and isolating. That is just all she wrote. I mean, Delaware has been so good throughout this entire game of isolating targets. Now playing in a map where it gives you rooms almost tailor-made to isolate targets, it's just looking even worse for Marquette, as they're really not able to find an entry here, and their time is ticking away. 150% left for them on this board to try and take it. And there's the ultimate from Sigma.
Yeah, and into the side room, gonna slam that Bastion down, and there goes everything. Even the Captive Sun can't stop the University of Delaware.
I mean, just an amazing ult from Carter there to lock them all down. They all got pushed into one space because they couldn't abandon their teammate that was floating in the sky. You've got to rally around your teammate to help them out. Delaware uses this as a trap and takes them all out just like that. Good wall here, and that's just mean. Oh no, the window to cap it off.
And the flashpoint capture, the pick there, even the immortality field drawn out from Zippy. It's just Marquette. They can't find their footing. They can't find a single fight, and they're going up to spawn.
I mean, this isn't, you don't even need to take this fight. This is just gravy. This isn't even where the point is. The point's on the other side of this map. Doesn't matter for Delaware. They're just taking it one by one. Now only one player from Marquette. Oh, sorry, two players from Marquette poised to even try to contest this one. Not going to matter. Point unlocked. Delaware's already on it. No chance for Marquette University to say anything about it.
No, and even though they have the ultimates, it feels like it won't matter. The beat's coming in, but Hyper goes down. That's the beat gone. These offensive ultimates are free. Stomps 10 could use his ult right now and get some impact, but there goes Reach. The one who could have followed up on that ult is gone. Stomps trying to find something. They're just caught away. PVD low, but is healed up, and Delaware just can't find anything positive. Ideal Warrior with the Flux first, and that's it for Delaware. They're just gonna clear house.
And Marquette took that fight too slow. They staggered, and I don't think they're gonna get a chance for another one here. I don't know if they even have time to get to the point with only like 8 seconds left on that clock, about 10. And they're certainly not going to have a chance to get to that point fighting through this Delaware squad. At this point, this is just a victory lap for Delaware right now, taking some final extra shots, taking some final extra ultimates, and just like that, we are done. Ladies, gentlemen, and everyone in between, Delaware improves their perfect score. That is 3 3-0s in a row. They have yet to drop a map. And that streak continues all the way up to 9 now.
And I mean, that comes off of the back of incredible DPS play. Carter has been an insane May the entire way through, and TVD has not been a slouch either. This was an elite showing from the University of Delaware, really proving themselves as the kings of this division and the teams to beat, because that was a scary performance from that entire team. Terrifying.
I mean, absolutely. As of right now, there's only 2 teams in the EGF that have played at least 2 games and have not dropped a map. As of right now, Delaware is the only one who's played 3 and not dropped a map. We'll see Hawaii later tonight. They're the other team looking to keep that perfect record. As of right now, though, Blue Hens are looking terrifying in the EGF here. No one really even able to make a dent in their armor.
Nope, but we're going to go to a quick break. But when we get back, we're going to have a little interview with our victorious blue hens, and one of them specifically, you'll have to see who.
I think we might just be able to jump right into it.
Oh, actually,
I think TV is going to set up right now. Oh, never mind. Going to break.
We're going to break.
We're going to break. We're going to break.
We're going to a break.
Clash of themes going on here. The old dogs versus the new kids on the block. Will Auburn University be able to come out swinging? Will they be able to hit the ground running in their first official, or will they stumble and fall to the more experienced counterparts across the board? We're going to have to wait and see as we take a look at the maps these two teams will be clashing on.
Yeah, and these maps, I feel like we have a really, really good map pool this week. Oasis gives you a nice spread. We typically see a lot of Brawl from it, a lot of those dive comps, possibly Eichenwald, one of those same ones. There's a lot of different stuff you can play there. And then we head to Flashpoint, and Flashpoint's been a huge decider map for these teams thus far. We have seen that map really be the tone setter for pretty much anything. The team that's won Flashpoint has won the match basically every single time.
I think that just because the amount of different scenarios that Flashpoint forces you to fight in, the amount of even fights that it gives you as well, means that if you're winning out Flashpoint, then very likely you're winning out the majority of your 50-50s. If you're winning out the majority of your 50-50s, well, that bodes pretty well for the rest of the series, Loki. But I do have to say, if we make it to the end, I would love to see some East France. I absolutely love watching teams play that map now. Even though Push maybe isn't the most popular game mode, I think it's such a lovingly crafted map that I think it would be a fitting decider should these two teams need to go all the distance. However, we'll have to wait and see if we get all the way, because 5 maps is a long way for a fresh team.
Well, fresh team, but they're probably coming into this with some experience. I've seen Auburn, kind of kicking around the collegiate scene, just new to EGF specifically. And anytime one of these, big schools comes in, one of these kind of like nationally known schools, I'm always so excited because there's so much talent they can pull from. They can grab it basically anywhere. Auburn, Alabama, a traditionally very, very good sports school. And so I think they have a really, really good talent pool that they can pull up for this squad.
And what I'm seeing from them compositionally, the Sigma with the Bastion very standard, honestly. Composition that we've been seeing quite a lot of. The Soldier 76, though, from Riptide, a different beast entirely, looking to off-angle from long range. Star popularized by the DPS player Hydron, if you're fond of your Overwatch League. Obese Chicken as well on the Ana, not something you see too often. Normally Baptiste favored here, but the Nana boost onto Kobe could get big value should we see it come up.
Yeah, already a huge anti comes through, but it's not going to be the anti-team that takes the death. First out is Charles, getting Lucio diffed a little bit there. Is Max already throwing it on the tank. Kobe completely isolated from the rest of the team there, and just like that, William and Mary has themselves set up after a very fast fight.
That was lightning fast. Felt like they had to wait for the point to unlock before they could cap it, but Auburn University, unfortunately, taking a quick fall on their first fight. Hopefully they didn't land too badly, because regrouping first, they will be peaking before the point percentage even hits 10, which means we could see a quick flip if a good shot connects from Brad, Riptide, or any of the other players in Auburn University.
William and Mary has a nice setup here on this high ground. Not going to be waiting for it, though. A quick drop with the wall. Goodbye, Kobe. Kobe being isolated seems to be the name of the game. And hey, it fits their namesake. Already saw Kobe Bryant playing their own game in basketball. Now we get to see Kobe locked off from the rest of their team in Overwatch.
Yeah, right now, Kobe forced the 1v5 repeatedly by the Mabels. We're seeing out of Nisu, who's been so far absolutely brilliant on the May. 80% of the Blizzard accrued as well, showing that we're seeing more than just rules from the damage as well from the DPS pick. And right now, Auburn University have no answers. Obese Chicken, though, has the Nano Boost. Curious to see how they decide to invest this, but very likely throwing it onto Kobe and seeing what the Saber can make of it.
Nano ready to go. Meanwhile, Kobe locked off a little bit on the side. That wall's not fully going to catch them. Neither is the rock, but that blizzard definitely will. Brad going to be frozen out now. Oh, the tank frozen as well, but only Brad getting picked, and so William and Mary still in a good position here if they can try to find one more. They still wall out Kobe, but no real kill coming through.
I think when you're playing the Ana, then a lot of the time it's going to be a pick strengthened considering by having good nano targets, and there isn't any of that on Auburn University. So unfortunately, it's not finding the same value it would if you had a Genji, if you had a Winston. So a little bit of a rough ultimate to have there, and makes Obesi's chicken life on the Ana just a little bit harder.
Both beats coming out here as the ults are flying. There's going to be no beat for that Sigma lift now, and it is going to catch Max. Kobe onto the high ground, not going to end up taking it, though. The pressure from SLM just a little bit too much. The movement still coming through. He's looking at Riptide now. They've got an angle on the DPS. Can they find the Lucio, try to get this point out? Yes, they can. And just like that, Auburn's going to have their first percentage of the day.
I was getting ready to write Auburn University off, but Riptide on the flank is there to get the off-angle damage in and does manage to clutch out the fight as a tactical visor now, but maybe difficult to find value against the comp of William and Mary. They've got plenty of defensive utility, the Lamp, the Lucio speed, and of course the Sigma cooldowns to try and escape it, so Riptide may struggle. They have to find value though, because until Obesi's chicken gets another nano up, it's going to be the only tool they have to fend off this attack.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Max has their own ultimate. It's going to be massive. Kobe once again getting isolated though. William and Mary forcing this man onto an island all by themselves. And now Riptide doesn't have their tank being in their front line. They have to really play this cover. Not able to get a good look at any point during that visor. Max all on the lonesome themselves now. Naisu trying to come up. The nano goes out onto the Mei just to keep Brad alive that little bit longer. And it's going to work out. Gets the kill on Max. SLM falls as well. And Auburn cleaving through this team off of the back of Brad.
That was chaotic, but when the dust settles, it is Brad the one to find the final blows necessary. And I do think nanoing the Mei has been maybe the port of call for Auburn University when the stress gets high, when the going gets tough. Then Brad has been the one to get nanoed, and that time it absolutely pays off. Kobe on the respawn pick now on the Wrecking Ball might struggle, but so far XED slept will be unpunished. Riptide on such a deep angle.
Gonna see how interesting to see how that ball works out. Gonna start out very well though. Getting Nuklama gonna pin down the movement for this William and Mary team so much, and it's gonna result in SLM getting picked. No way to get away from that wall. No way to get away from the pressure. And with Naisu quickly following, Auburn might have taken this one as a 100 to, or as it was a 99 to 100. No breaks there. And just like that, the Tigers are on top of the tribe.
They were really struggling to close face while William and Mary constantly getting bogged down, trying to clear out the off angles of Auburn University. But in trying to take all that space, then unfortunately they were slipping up. And when they got into those close quarters engagements, then they didn't have the cooldowns, I think, to try and trade out positively. So first cap going over to Auburn University, and I have to say, hats off for them for staying in the game, because down 99-0 can be very easy to write it off when you're still on those spawn swaps, trying to desperately stay in the fight. But they bring it back from 99-0 all the way to 100. So that's a great sign of things to come from Auburn University, who already are looking like a strong contender in the EGFC season. Early days though it may be, and William and Mary forced to try and push for University. City Center will be the battleground for now, and TPing out of spawn, it looks like we got a Tracer now for the Brads.
Brad on the Tracer, getting them a little bit more of a movement, a little more off angle. Hopefully keep William and Mary off of this high ground that Auburn's already taken, set themselves up on. They can also use this Tracer to get on the point, which is exactly what we're seeing Brad do. Already trying to force out this William and Mary squad a little bit. Some damage on Naisu, not going to lead to too terribly much, as William and Mary perfectly content right now. Just kind of hang around this middle pillar, play their cover, wait until the point comes unlocked. Now, though, if they're going to full cap it, they have to find Brad. Meanwhile, Nuke Llama trying to boop off the high ground, gonna find Riptide, doesn't get him the right direction though. And so Auburn University just continues to be built up like a bastion on this high ground.
And no bastion there for the actual damage, but it can feel like the effect is the same. Kobe drops low, missed railgun from the SLM will mean that there will for a brief moment be a survival for the Sigma, but that will be shut down. Gets the second attempt in, does SLM. Nuke Llama with the meta kill onto a Beast Chicken. Looks like clean up here for William and Mary, who are looking to again establish first control of control.
Yeah. Auburn there takes their advantage after William and Mary has to drop down onto the point. Auburn not able, or as I was Auburn, not willing to just kind of let them hang out on their own lonesome. And
What did
oh,
they kill?
Riptide, no!
That is filthy. And I mean, that's straight back to spawn for Auburn University. 10% solely off the back, off of Nuke Llama taking down Riptide. Not quite sure how that happened, but either way, it's a gift horse that William and Mary are more than happy enough not to look in the mouth.
Well, Auburn University still wants to take this fight, even with Riptide being a little bit late to the party. We're already seeing XCD throwing down that window, trying to get a little bit more damage in, scare off Auburn University. But it's not in a position where they can really make too much use of it. Auburn ready to just sidestep it. And the Nano goes on the Mei again, but this time the Blizzard ready to counter them. They're stuck in the ice block, but that Nano is ticking down. And this has completely stopped Auburn University's push. They were all ready for that one right there, not able to find it. And as the Mei comes through, charging for Max, everyone's gonna get lifted in the air, but Max gets slept in the beat, able to keep everyone alive as well. A huge nade in the back line. Auburn University completely separating William and Mary, taking a card out of their book and playing the same isolation game against the Tribe.
Obese Chicken came up so huge there, getting a sleep cancel onto Max's ultimate, and then landing a 3-man nade onto backline of William and Mary. I mean, there's not more than Nana can do in a fight realistically, and rewarded for that with a flip. Auburn University have the defensive positioning, and Kobe now has a Flux unmirrored to try and get some value with.
Flux unmirrored. They still are going to have to get through that Lucio beat if they can fade it out early. It's going to be absolutely huge. Max separated themselves a little bit again as an overclock comes out. Both DPSs popping their ult. The hit scan is in. Oh, Brad! What a brutal shot there! Max and SLM reaching the target at the same time, and there is no chance for that Mei to continue living. Riptide's still on a nice angle here, but it's not gonna be enough as the rest of Auburn is taken down.
75% means we're getting rather close to one-fight territory, and this stagger onto a Beast Chicken is brutal. They don't have to do anything because the Beast Chicken isn't trying to do anything. Just AFK on the point. Is that a disconnect even? But either way, 84%, they won't have their flex support here. They will only have Lucio sustain, and I don't think there's a way they can cap this.
Yeah, I don't know without an on-up is really a good way to get through this push, especially with the window right there keeping everyone out. Kobe trying to make one last effort, but they're not going to be able to deadlift it this time. Black Mamba spent right back to spawn. Charles, they are trying to make their own work in the middle of the tower, still not finding anything. This Mei is making it so impossible for anyone to get onto point. Nisu just creating a wall of ice and slow, forces everyone out, and we get to see Control map 3. We haven't seen a round 3 on Control in a very long time.
Speak for yourself. We had one on the other broadcast just the last game. But
oh, there you go.
Yeah, but no, it's really great to see that these two teams already are this competitive. I mean, I think it has been very close between them. And I think it has been a game of inches that has separated them. Obese Chicken, I have to say, still had the biggest individual fight I've seen out of any player just yet. If they can find that value semi-consistently, then Auburn University could be a real big threat. But William and Mary right now do have the momentum on their side, back over to the state where it has been their bread and butter. And SLM just TPing them out to spawn for a smidgen of extra space, swapping over to the Sojourn, same as usual. Kobe now is on the Ryan Hunt. Now this is new.
Yeah, I love this brawl comp, especially on a map like this, able to just send it through. We've seen Auburn likes to be aggressive here. They like to focus on that point control. This is going to be huge for them. Force, they have to get Kobe locked into this corner. They're really fighting for it. Not able to pin it down. Max, however, doesn't matter. The rest of the DPS have been making work out of William and Mary. No one really able to stand against it. And so even though Max was the first target, the rest of William and Mary is going to fall before them and clean up the point for Auburn.
Yeah, the Reinhardt looks like the adaptation of choice here. Riptide now can play the Sojourn, and I do like this a lot more than the Soldier 76, if I'm going to be completely honest. I think the pick potential, I think the survivability is far too strong. I think the off-angle Soldier just can't compare in terms of value, and respawning now will be the Brad, so we will have a 5-on-5 contact. SLM now on the Bastion could be very, very worrying for Kobe to try and deal with. That shield pressure is absolutely insane, but there is definitely ways of circumventing that.
Yeah, I think this Bastion is a great pick for keeping out the Reinhardt, especially in breaking through these walls. Look at SLM cleaving through the Auburn wall there, just breaking right into this point. And now Kobe has a decision to make. Do they want to stay on this point, try to box everyone out with the DPS work, or do they need to push forward? Decision's been made for him as their health pool gets demolished before they can even make a sound. The Beast Chicken here trying their best to keep everyone alive, but with how spread out Auburn University is forced to be, it seems like it's a losing game. SLM is taken out early though. This might reset the timer that Auburn University has. The DPS here at work, 2 ults popped and 3 kills. Make that 4. Gonna be the payoff.
Yeah, that was very flashy, but those 2 players were already frozen up by the Blizzard. I'm not quite sure you needed the overclock to finish that out, and that's going to make it only easier for William Mary when they come for the inevitable recontest. They're going to have 4 ultimates to bring to bear against Auburn University. They're desperately going to be wanting that overclock back. Dropping over to the Ritter now, Will Max just doing anything he can to make Kobe's life as uncomfortable as possible. We saw this run before. It's a great counter to the Reinhardt, but whether they play it correctly is a different matter entirely.
Good window here trying to set up this point. Once again, forcing Kobe back into cover. Do keep in mind, Kobe has a big shatter. Riptide gonna get sent. Naisu, an insane Blizzard, catches Kobe on the charge. And there's not even really a contest here from Auburn University. Point stolen out from under them. They just gotta die at this point. You're just staggering yourself, friend.
Nothing that Brad can really do though. Trying to shoot, trying to make space, but getting constantly walled. Oh, that shift is rough. A little bit bold, and Will manage to escape. A lovely Maywall means that the stagger won't come through, and so what could have been an absolutely brutal loss for Auburn University turns out to have a silver lining.
And Auburn University a little bit more set up on this ult ground. I actually really like them losing that fight in order to kind of reset the ult economy, get it in their favor. SLM not able to find anything there on the artillery strike, and now Kobe gets to choose the pace of this fight. Walking in with the wall, gonna get hit out by the May wall. No worries though, that one is gonna be quick to break it. Kobe here gonna get beat out in the cover, completely disconnected from the rest of their team. I thought they had a moment of survival, but it's not looking like it. And with that, you've got to wonder, how does Auburn get back into this one? They've got Max breathing down their throats on the Orisa. Sure enough, there's the Orisa ult, sending it through. Is there going to be big damage there? Nope, just puts everyone in the correct situation. And William and Mary pushed a little bit too far up, got too confident on the back of their own take. Kobe makes them pay coming back from spawn.
That they do, 92% now. It's going to be a struggle to even touch from William and Mary. Max goes over to the Wrecking Ball to try and touch. It has to be Nuke Llama. It has to be Nuke Llama. Jumping onto the point. 1% will manage to get overtime started. Gets the beat off as well, but will it be enough to get a flip?
With that Blizzard out, it becomes dicey. Another Blizzard to match it from Auburn. As I was another beat to match William and Mary's from Auburn. Wall out, keeping clean. I like this change on the support. Not gonna matter though. Quickly cleaned up. Ball at 1 health. Can Max survive? No, they cannot. With that slow from Brad, it's so brutal trying to find any movement. It's down to Nuke Llama once again being the main thing keeping this point alive. And they have just enough to flip the point. And so William and Mary surviving for that little tiny bit longer. They're going to be able to get a recontest here with the ball. Naisu back up with their own little cheeky wall in the middle of the well to go right after the DPS of Auburn University. Gonna end up finding Riptide, but paying with their life as a result of it. William and Mary trying to grab any thread they can now to pull and find a little bit more. And with every single time they try, it gets a little bit further away from them. And Auburn University takes their first map ever in the EGFC.
That they do, and I mean, it was a lovely attempt at a recontest from William and Mary. I was so certain that they had it more than a couple times. But Auburn University able to stop the clutch, anti-clutch factor coming out from them, and that does mean that we will see control go the way of Auburn University. As you mentioned, Loki, the first map they've taken in EGF. And what a way to do it. What a manner to get your first victory. That's going to get the blood pumping.
Yeah, especially against a team as commanding as this William and Mary squad. William and Mary, I mean, they really are one of the standout schools in the EGFC. And to come in your first ever game, your first ever map, and just kind of sucker punch them, absolutely wild. I mean, they took that first map in an absolute turnaround. I don't think anyone was expecting the 99 to 100 to be the end of that. Map 3, incredible clutch plays continuing to come out for William and Mary, but Auburn just denies every single one. I mean, how do you recover from something as back and like emotion breaking as getting, just denied by a new team like this?
I don't think it's the worst thing in the world to lose a close series. I think it gives you a lot of um, motivation going into the next map to go, we lost the last map, but it doesn't define us. We are the better team. And you can keep that belief to yourself because, it was close at the end of the day. And realistically, a coin flip could have decided this going the other way. Unfortunately, did not fall the way of William and Mary, but Eichenwald very well still could. Now, if it was in totally one-sided, a Stomp on the other hand, then you'd be worried about demotivation. Then you'd be worried about tilt, about being boomed, as the people say. But not just yet for William and Mary. I think the heads are still 100% dialed in the game, and I think that close loss, has only worsened their desire for a victory. So I think they're going to come in full force onto Eichenwald and should bring the full force of their play against Auburn University.
Yeah, I think Eichenwald is a really, really good map to kind of change the game for both of these teams. We saw them, changing comps, changing styles, basically every single map on Oasis. It's going to be interesting to see those teams kind of settle in to their own playstyle, their favorite comps on a map that's typically a little bit longer. We typically don't see super fast caps on this map. Please ignore the last game for that comment. We don't talk about that one, but typically it does take a minute on Eichenwald if you're going to get a full cap. And so I'm really interested to see how both of these teams react when the pace of the game is slowed down a little bit.
Maybe there's just something in the air today because we had a 3:14 time back in the last game.
God.
So honestly, while typically I would agree with you, yeah, capping Eichen can be really tough. I don't know. I mean, I'm not that superstitious, but maybe there's something in the water, perhaps, making it just so hard to defend properly.
Yeah, I mean, there's some teams that really thrive on point 3 of Eichenwald. It's a little bit different from a lot of those other hybrid points, from those escort points, with all the different high grounds, with all the different flanks routes coming out, and so being able to take it a different direction, it really works to some teams' advantage. I apologize. The hardest, phase to get through if you are one of those 0.3 advantage teams is probably Streets phase, though. That's where we see a lot of teams kind of lose their momentum.
Yeah, Castle Hulk can be absolutely brutal to try and break if you don't have an ability to assail it, especially with less mobile comps like what we're seeing out of William and Mary right now. If you're attacking, then it's desperately tricky to be able to get your DPS on functional angles because the high ground advantage is going to be so strong for the defenders at all times. On the defense, though, and Naisu with the Mei can wreak havoc with control of the choke. SLM had a quieter series than I'm used to seeing on the Sojin, but it's definitely still set up for success with all this defensive positioning. And Auburn University, they're looking at the double flexible backline. Now, this is interesting.
Something I'm surprised that we're not seeing a little bit more of in this game is Sombra after her big rework. Her machine pistol does a lot more damage now. Her hack is a lot easier to cast now, but looks like both teams very, very confident in this.
XZ goes down?
Ooh, what a quick pick there by Brad. Yeah, SLM's gonna follow. I don't know that there's really anything left for William and Mary on this point. I mean, yeah, that's it. That's point 1.
Oh my god. I don't think I've ever seen a cap that fast. Loki, we just saw a 6-minute time bank going in a second. Have you ever seen that before?
They just walked to point. I mean, I don't think they took their hand off of W the entire time. That's insane. Giving up for this next one, though, this arch can basically be a 1.5, though. Getting through it can sometimes be brutal, especially when you've got someone like SLM up on this high ground raining down fire. Brad here having a really hard time trying to step up into this point and find their damage. Here, you see the moment they try to, they're instantly taking shots. You can literally watch SLM, getting that lock on them. Big turret phase coming through. Not going to find a ton, but it does set up nice for Riptide. And now that Kobe's got a little bit more space to act and this cart's out, I imagine we're going to see the rest of William and Mary following the trend of their DPS.
And I think we mentioned earlier how some teams can really struggle to get through second, and so far it looks like Auburn are not one of those teams. A lovely stagger onto Max FTW, and was that a little bit of typing I spied from Kobe in that pause there? Oh, but there has been some BM between these two teams before, so definitely a possibility. But look at these positions they have. Look at where Obese Chicken can position themselves with the Iliari. So much positioning taken early. William and Mary going to have to fight for every inch of space.
I mean, I love this. The hardest part of getting to this door is actually standing at the door. Just be able to take it just like that is insane. Captive Sun coming out here, hits a whole lot. Going to end up taking down Max on the point now, looking for that last little bit. XZD going to be gone. They're Baptiste, and they've got the MO, but at the end of the day, they're still just a squishy support. And no chance they're going to survive that one. What's going on with SLM there? Kind of going off on their own little side quest. Yeah, that's...
Brad just jumps off.
I guess they need a comp change. Oh, Reptile too.
They have a 6-minute time bank. This has unfortunately not been close so far, and Auburn University doing a little bit of trolling, I think, to rub it into William and Mary, trying to get the mind games going. And so right now it is just Kobe pushing only the Stigma, waiting for the respawns to come in after their team decided to throw themselves off the map. Brad recontesting with the Bastion form. Kobe falls.
I mean, you see why though? You usually don't want to just kind of send it with your tank and hope, especially when you're playing against a melee like Naisu. Quick wall off there, cleaves through the tank of Auburn, and now War Eagle having to take a little bit of a reset as Negami's going to fall as well.
I don't think I ever have had to say this before in my life, but it's actually bad when your team jumps off the map deliberately.
You know,
yeah.
Generally living is a good option if you had to choose between the two.
Yeah, I can agree with that. But Auburn University coming through with an ult fight here. They have burnt some time off the bank, but still have an absolutely dastardly time bank coming through, and a big flux is going to make William Mary's life oh so difficult.
Yeah, that flux positioned perfectly to act with the window. That beat from Nucleum is not going to come through in time, but it might set them up just enough to act on this Blizzard. SLM cleaving through there. Great shot. Negami now trying to do all they can to salvage this fight. They've got one teammate on their backline, but they needed to send out a little bit to get the regroup. Negami not going to find it, and just like that, William and Mary continues this hold on the Arches.
Yeah, this has been tough between these two teams to call it that. They clearly have beef with each other, and it's coming out on the server of some incredibly entertaining Overwatch. Auburn University lost that fight, but it's not like it wasn't close. It took a 3-piece from SLM to repulse it, and this time it continues. Namuki going down.
Yeah, great positioning there by William and Mary to throw out the window and make use of it. Captive Sun out now by the Obese Chicken. Looking for a little bit more. Going to send a lot of it Max's way and get a kill off of it. That can be huge. We've seen Max be, you know, the linchpin of this team, the keystone that keeps it all moving. And the moment Max is dead, everyone on William and Mary goes for the exits, but not before nailing Riptide.
That's really rough. You had such a bout of momentum, such a strong chance to cap out the map, but with your hits going down, you're going to have to play slow until you're back to 5. Investing the flux now, trying to get stagger kills is William and Mary, but a little bit bolder than trying to go in too deep.
Yeah, both teams still investing a lot in this one. Both overclocks coming out. Do keep in mind, Naisu still has that ult on the William and Mary side. Oh, there it is. Already out now. It's going to catch Kobe. Can it take him down? Yes, it can. SLM finishing off Kobe, and just like that, we're seeing another retreat. Once the tank is dead, both of these teams seem to just kind of falter.
And at this point, the timeout has been whittled down considerably. I think Auburn University's trolling has not paid off, I'll call it that way, which means down to 2 minutes, down to the bounds of reality. A 5-minute cap was on the cards for just a little bit, but William and Mary have been able to stabilize at least until this point, and just getting up to the bridge will be a bit of a challenge. Crossing all that space is so hard into all this spam damage, and Kobe's really struggling with it.
Yeah, Kobe not finding a way to cross that bridge and missing what's honestly an amazing opportunity. Everyone for William and Mary was grouped up in the open in one spot. Kobe had the ult ready to go, but not gonna find it. Rest of the Tigers, though, not fearing. They're trying to press up this corner and get set up. They've got the Brad ready to go in turret form. Rock knocks them out of for a little bit, so they're not going to see the full pressure of that rock that they were really looking for. And Obese Chicken is actually the one stepping up to this cart, trying to push it. Now Kobe with this flux looking for the opportunity. Nuklama does have the beat, so anything that can get that beat out is absolutely huge. You see Brad now trying to fish for it. Everyone lifted in the air. Max low as well. That beat not gonna be enough to protect Nuklama. They're gonna fall. And now Max only on half health as well. SLM falling, barely gets out with that slide, but they're all trapped in one little corner now. Kobe just taking pot shots in there, and the Black Mamba drains it. William and Mary not going to be able to stop Auburn University, but dang, did they take a lot of time off that clock.
What was that? I believe in the end, 4 minutes and 40 seconds that was wasted off the time bank when it came to third. I mean, that is a strong defense by any measure, and in a reasonable standard game, and that would be cause for a stoppage. But the time bank that Auburn University had was so gargantuan that, I mean, it was a heroic effort from William Mary to burn that much time off, I have to say. I do have to wonder, though, what would happen if they didn't all just jump off the map? Would we be seeing a 5-minute time bank, or would we be seeing a similar defense from William and Mary anyhow? Anyway, enough about the past and what could have been. We're back into the real as Auburn University going to start off on their own, attack William and Mary on the defense.
I think our producer's a little bit biased.
Yeah.
just a tad bit. It's AGR back.
No, I'm hearing it. I'm kind of.
You gotta have the manners after getting BM'd on. You gotta have the manners to say it back.
Yeah. Every time you play in a tournament, if the other team are typing at you, you gotta type back. You know, it's only polite.
Absolutely. Now, William and Mary though actually did have a really great round. I mean, first point, second point. Not looking pretty. Third point, though, I mean, what an amazing hold. Normally a hold that long wins you the round. This time, though, not going to happen. War Eagle able to get there fast enough. William and Mary now set up with their own version of their attacking comp. It's basically the same. Auburn University, though, making a lot of changes. Brad going for a cheeky angle, going to get caught out. And Auburn University tries to be fancy, and it's going to make them pay once more. As they're just getting cleaved through. I mean, this fight's over. This is all just. Yeah.
I've never seen so ineffective defenses of the first point of Eichenwalds. I've never seen this before in my life. This is the second 6-minute time bank we've had in 2 rounds. I didn't know that was possible, to be entirely honest. But either way, it means that William and Mary are now poised for an equally strong attack as Auburn University, and this time they have the option to not jump off the map. So they're in a great spot, aren't William and Mary?
William and Mary at least had to hit a speed bump on their way to point A. But getting Brad early here on point B is going to make this one brutal. Chicken! A little bit on your lonesome here. Never mind, they've got Brad helping him out, trying to go after Nuklama. Nuklama dodging for that health pack, gonna end up finding it. And now, Brad and Obi's Chicken, not exactly where they want to be playing. They are able to join up with the rest of the team, but the Brad's gonna end up falling for it. Window out now, can Kobe push in front of it? They're working for it, gonna get hit by the rock. Still able to live just in this corner, surviving on the back of the grab. And barely Auburn University able to pull this one out off the back of Riptide's amazing rockets.
I mean, we were just seeing Obese Chicken fly around DPS murdering barely any support going on. What their combo swap's over to, especially how Obese Chicken is playing it, is just about generating angles, taking as many fights from as many weird spots as possible and hoping that William and Mary just don't have the capabilities to mark all of them. Obese Chicken drops solo 22 points of health, but the support passive, as well as Moira's natural survivability, would let them survive, but there's a whole squad coming, chasing the Moira, and so far back, Obese Chicken goes down. But they're so far away that the respawn will come through, and that's barely even a win for this.
I mean, Brad's still in the back line. I mean, even if you just take that stagger and without Brad back here, I think that's still a win with how much time you've knocked off the clock. And Brad's already back here trying to pin this team down. You can see him whittling it down. XCD, they're not going to find the kill, but SLM is falling. And without without the DPS there, would have pushed people out. Absolutely free flux there from Kobe, gonna do a ton of damage and set up even more kills. Look at the Hadouken just swinging across the map. Ends up winning the fight. And Auburn University only 2 ults committed and 1 fight won.
All that for a drop of blood. That's a great way of putting it, though. It took such a long chase onto Obese Chicken, and in the end, they don't ultimately get anything from it. A nice attempt at a 1-clip coming through from the Brad, but
already back to
SLM will survive.
Chicken's already back
in the back line
to being a little goblin in the back line. Brad's here to help him out there. Oh no, you all walked into the castle with post bomb up? The Brad missing the opportunity to do some damage there on the William and Mary. Tigers now completely separated from each other. If William and Mary can just turn this into individual 1v1s, they might just set themselves up. But Obese Chicken is winning those 1v1s. Now Max taking on 3 all on their lonesome. Can they escape? Not looking likely. Never mind, they were taking a 3v1, but Auburn University just kind of lets them leave, lets Kobe assert dominance, and now it's a battle for the cart between Brad and Naisu, and it's going to be Brad winning it, I think, as the help has arrived.
Yeah, definitely. May just stagger himself out now. The Brad does get the final blow. Nuclear a nice exit, but they're going to need to get out quick time before they become staggers as well. Swapping over to the Winston, trying to dive the off angles. It is a change I like, but whether they have the practice time on it is a different matter entirely. Max taking a great fight onto Riptide. I'm not sure he gets any help here.
No, Riptide able to get out as they've left the backline open for Kobe. Obese Chicken as well, putting in damage. And I don't know that this is like a planned comp as much as it is like, oh, let's just keep this fight going. Let's keep the pace up. It's really just turning it all into one big giant stagger.
It's hard to disagree with that. Nuclear SLM going down as if to punctuate your point. And while they have ults to William and Mary, it feels like they haven't taken a proper fight in minutes almost. The Brad going for the stick, connects it, but no kill, just a little bit of damage onto Max. Ult charge to feed XZD's nano boost, which so far is still a pipe dream. Obese Chicken again gets picked early, but last time this happened, I don't believe anything came of it, but this time, maybe a little bit more.
Yeah, 3v5, and they are going to have some time on the clock with that one. This mobility able to actually take on the lower numbers when they have the advantage for it, and that's going to be a good wall. Kobe, they're trying their best to get out of it. Not gonna happen though. And we're up to the arch. That means so much on this street phase. Once again though, Obese Chicken just hanging out with Brad in this backline. No fear. Apparently they haven't learned their lesson.
Apparently not. I mean, when you can keep doing it, and honestly, let's be real, it has worked out more times than not. A little bit of healing, a rare sight from Obese Chicken. Riptide will fall regardless, and Max really trying to get these late kills in. A lovely freeze, and Obese Chicken's back in the background again.
I really think this map has just turned into one giant stagger from both sides here. Neither are taking clean fights at this point. They're just throwing in the resources and hoping. You can see there, Megami trying their best just to touch cart, keep it alive for, I mean, really, what? A 3v5 with no ults? It's not looking pretty.
Naisu's Blizzard, we've just been informed, did get Ajax, so that's a tool that I think William and Mary would really quite like back. They did get the fight win, but either way, you'd love to see that thing actually come out. Oh, it's not ideal for anything right now. To be honest, you could tell me this is a quick play game, and I wouldn't be surprised.
It really looks like it here. I do like this switch from Max onto the Ramastra for this last point. I think that provides a lot of speed if they can make use of it. And Grab Flux is going to mean they can't make use of it. Cleaved through there, William and Mary going to be trying to escaping with these two players. Nuclear just hanging out here on the wall. You dipped pretty deep there, friend. Gonna find a way to get out. Nope, they're not. And yet another stagger comes through off of a play that's trying to be fancy and just doing too much.
Yeah, I also think that it's worth mentioning that Max did not have to die to the previous Flux. Did have that block up, but didn't know, unfortunately, that the damage instance from Gravitic Flux happens from the top, so you have to block upwards. Obese Chicken now back on the Alari, doing work on the off angle.
Yeah, finding a little bit of a DPS play. I mean, hey, Flex Support's basically a DPS, and making use of it there. Obese Chicken playing very strong, and they've got another stagger opportunity here on the Nuke Llama. They're trying to get back to their support line, gonna end up finding it, but at this point, they're just taking so much time on the clock. 20 seconds left. The cart's all the way on point 3. The fight's happening back on point 2. You see there, gonna find it a little bit slip, trying to backdoor Auburn University right now. I don't know how much is gonna happen. SLM needs to find kills quickly as the Captive Sons bringing Auburn right back to the point. And William and Mary basically do just backdoor this Auburn University squad and find kills off of it.
Yeah, nano boosted Sojourn a la Hangzhou spot. We do see the value out of SLM, but This back door is maybe becoming a vulnerability for William and Mary, who getting pushed from both sides, getting pincered, are really struggling to stay alive. The cap will come through, recontest from Auburn University, but the Blizzard is there to freeze that nuke llama, though the only DPS. Do they have enough damage to clear Auburn University off the point? It doesn't look
apparently
like
apparently they do. That seems to be the name of the game for this match, is asking, like, can this work? And the answer is sure, I guess.
I'm so confused. That was, I think, the strangest Icon Valve I've ever seen or played, and that's in more than a couple hundred hours of playing this game. I mean, what are we watching? What have we just bared witness to?
I am not really sure. I mean, what's weird about it is both of these teams are clearly good. Like, they're clearly good teams. They've got their macro, they've got their micro. They've clearly come into this with a plan, and yet we're watching, like, arcade almost. Like, it feels like total mayhem.
I couldn't agree more. So we're gonna go to a short break, I believe, in between maps, while me, you, and everyone else gets a chance to regain their breath, regain their marbles, and take stock of what exactly is going on. We'll see you guys in a bit.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back. I think after a much needed break, we've settled down. Hopefully, the teams have settled down, ready to get into this third map, Flashpoint, which is not a very settled down map when it all comes down to it.
Energetic, definitely, but I think the capacity for shenanigans may be a little bit lower than what we saw in Eichenwald. I don't think we can see any Moiras so deep in the backline that you have to go back several minutes to see when the point was actually played. So that's a step in the right direction, definitely. And I think also the amount of 50-50 fights that you're forced to take playing Flashpoint does mean that more often than not, you're going to see a lot more consistency, a lot more normalcy, and hopefully some more back to basics Overwatch. Not that what we saw in Eichenwald wasn't entertaining, but it has caused me to start losing my marbles slightly. So Suravasa will be the Battlegrounds.
It's back to basics if you're considering like plat basics. I mean, it was very much that style. Just a different skill level.
Yeah, it's such a strange look to see players who clearly have the mechanical, power and the understanding of the game just running it down essentially.
Sending it. No fear.
It's not something you get to see every day, I'll put it that way.
Here on Saravasa, though, does look like we're hopefully going to go back to the basics. William Mary running the Orisa, which I would call very much back to the basics. Auburn University, though, Chicken's still on this Moira, and they're already on a flank. This time, they don't even have a Tracer backing them up.
Oh my god, they got cooked.
And yeah, that looks about right. All right. Obie's Chicken down, and so Auburn University playing with just one support now and only 2 DPS instead of the normal 3 that they have out there. Kobe trying to push in on this Orisa, not going to be finding a ton of progress, but they do just enough to keep Max out. As Riptide has hit their own little flank now, but Auburn University already missed the chance to cap on this point. And so anything after this is honestly just gravy for William and Mary. Eventually, Max will fall after a lot of resources thrown their way, and William and Mary choosing to leave before any more damage can be done.
Very slow from William and Mary. They do manage to get their first cap and disengage. Obese Chicken again falls, so it's going to be an easy 5-on-4 for William and Mary. Once they have grouped up as 5, Moira going to be much slower. It doesn't have the Lucio speed, just the fade to try and hasten Obese Chicken's progress back. So some killing instinct from William Mary. We absolutely love it to see here.
Obese Chicken staying on the Moira. Tried it twice, didn't work either time, but they're committed to this bit as they're right in the backline once again, going after XD. This time they're gonna find a kill. Now transitioning to Max, who's surrounded by Tigers. Max is gonna follow the result, and the Brad doing enough damage from the front line to just allow Obese Chicken to do whatever they want to, is really what it comes down to. It doesn't matter if they live, doesn't matter if they die, just going off on their own adventure.
DPS Moira as a semi-functional strat in the year of our Lord 2023 is not something I had in my bingo card, but I'm all for it.
It's no longer the year of our Lord. You can't say that anymore after this strat's been played.
Yeah.
God, it has abandoned us.
God is dead and Obese Chicken on the Moira.
Obese Chicken has killed them. Yeah, no kidding. They're not even fighting on the next point yet. They're fighting just kind of out in the open. Brad there trying to take down Nuke Llama. Not going to find Nuke Llama, but Obese Chicken's going to find XZD, and there's the artillery strike. Gets down the ammo for the fight, sending it right back in. Naisu going on their own little side quest apart from the team this time. They get to pay for it. Side quests not turning out to be super profitable at the moment, but as the point unlocks, I don't know that William and Mary has the numbers to contest. Don't worry though, if you wanted some more Overwatch action, Auburn University has, they don't care where the point is, they care where the fight is, and SLM's gonna follow as a result.
They're pressing their advantage and pressing on the gas hard. I mean, these staggered late kills, look how deep they're going, trying to get extra kills. Max goes down, not even in the same postcode as the point. And it's Riptide's popped the attack visor, it's not mid-fight. They're literally just looking for stagger kills. I mean, this is insanity.
They're on the previous point. They're on the last point. They're ulting on this fight. They force William and Mary to use their beat forward flux that wasn't even near the point, and now with 60% on the point, with all the deaths coming through, I don't even know that there is a recontest. This is absolutely insane.
Yeah, we've gone full city mode. Pull out your makeup, get your red noses, and get your silly shoes on, because we're in full clown territory now, folks. And Auburn University, they're the puppet masters in control of this particular circus. William and Mary struggling to keep up with the pace. They are playing a comp that needs to be proactive. Unfortunately, they're just getting out-rotated. They try and touch, but they're too slow.
I don't understand that recontest. I think Flashpoint is something where the moment it goes above 80, you just kind of got to let it go, get set up for the next one. Or else something like this happens where you get separated, you're all in, you know, that desperation position, you're all separated from each other, there's no chance for anyone to help each other out, and you just get deadened with very little resistance. Auburn University here going to have a pretty easy chance to try to get this fight ready and cap the next one. I mean, William and Mary's set up, so maybe.
Orals from the board. Naisu with the blade could combo with the Terra Surge for an easy, quick couple kills, but so far Auburn University has shown us that anything but the predictable is what's going to happen, and so I'm going to hold my predictions until we see exactly what Obese Chicken has in store for us.
Do or die point here for William and Mary. If they don't win this one, that's going to be their day and the end to their perfect streak thus far. Brad looking for a kill on the edge. It is going to be William and Mary who caps this point. This is the first cap they've had all match. Actually, no, never mind. They managed to flip the point at one point. I apologize. Naisu here with the blade, diving for the back line, looking for Riptide, gonna catch him, gets the reset. Now going after the very, very back line in Obese Chicken. Gonna find them as well with a little bit of help from their DPS partner. And William and Mary might be looking at a clean fight win here at 50%. There's not really gonna be a chance to recontest here for Auburn University. If they lose this here, that's probably gonna be the point. And Kobe isn't letting themselves die. They gonna get staggered pretty hard there. And that's really gonna make this, you know, just William and Mary's point with no chance of a recontest.
Yeah, 80%, a touch can come through, but Obese Chicken testing fate quite a little bit here. Pops the ultimate, the coalescence invested, trying to stay alive, and a touch, I believe, will be coming through. Right?
Yeah, Auburn wants to send it. They've been the team doing the impossible so far today. What's one more impossibility, I suppose? But they step up the point, C9, and William Mary gets their first point of the match, or of the round. I'm so sorry.
They're on the board, yeah.
It's hard to keep time. It's hard to keep time straight with all of the weird and wildness. It's all getting wiggly.
Yeah, I got to agree with you there. Linear time is not in session, I'll call it that much. Finally, William and Mary get a proper bit of momentum going, and hopefully with this head of steam, they can snowball this into coming back from what was one of the most one-sided Survivors I've seen in a long while. Auburn University are looking to make much of the opposite happen. They want to keep the fun in games happening, and preferably at the expense of William and Mary. Got the attack visors to do it with, but Kobe with the flux is normally going to be the big ticket item.
Here's Riptide and Chicken on the flank once again. Kobe looking for an opportunity to pop this flux. Now that beats out, the world is their oyster. The moment this runs down, it's going to be all of them. Ammo has to get used for Megamines. They've been split off, but the flux comes out, looking for the backline. Not going to catch it. This is a lot of damage here from Riptide, but is it too little too late? gonna find some, but not enough. Kobe here needs to find a pick on Naisu. Naisu, how do you not die there on 1 health? Jukes around Kobe, and just like that, William & Mary set up for this point.
Genuinely, I think Naisu has about 10 HP right now. There's no way they were allowed to survive on the Genji, but it's a miracle that they did, and it allowed William & Mary to get the flip on the point. 40% accrued for Auburn University. They will have nothing to push back in with, but that has not stopped them before. The pull blade, again, available for William & Mary, but they elected not to use this particular combo before.
Max here looking to try to push on the back line. They've got the ult. If they can get into Auburn's territory, they can do some damage, and Auburn already without the chicken that is obese, gonna have a hard time staying alive, or at least distracting William & Mary from that target. But with the damage that Brad's putting out, Max having a really hard time pushing forward. Gonna eventually pop it, but not gonna find a ton. At the end of the day, there really only pulls Kobe kind of out of position before they are able to just kind of press the S key and get right back into it. Obi's Chicken has returned now with the team. Coalescence is out supporting Kobe, but with the blade here for Naisu, looking to find something, not gonna find a lot, pushed out by the damage and pressure that Auburn has here. Auburn doing a really good job of just keeping a toe on the point at all times, trying to keep this overtime alive. The Brad gonna get out the ammo, do a lot of damage while they're at it. Window here might be enough to do it, but the beat keeps everyone from William & Mary alive. This allows Naisu to dive back in, hits the team with the crossover on Kobe, and goes under the back line. The Brad falls as a result. A last desperation grab flex, but the point's already gone.
It doesn't matter that Kobe gets all these late kills. It doesn't matter that Auburn University win out the fight because the point goes the way of William & Mary. And at the end of the day, though Auburn University might dislike it, Overwatch is an objective-based game, and William & Mary now cruising towards the last objective. Gardens will be where Flashpoint is decided whether William & Mary can get a map on the board or Auburn University sweep the series 3-0 down to the final point, and William & Mary have control first.
Feels thematic, going after, these very, very long first two maps. Makes sense that on the third one, which might be the final one if Auburn can win it, that we would go the distance as well. Obi's Chicken still committed to this flank Moira plan. No change on their part. Rest of the team grouped up here, trying to look for an entrance as Obi's Chicken batters the back line, trying to distract them, pull them away from the target, help on this isolation play a little bit. Only really going to manage to get Nuklama out. The Coalescence committed. Never mind, here's SLM2, and this Coalescence, I think, is going to be enough to find a kill. Sure is. Kobe knocking down the support line, and now with Lucio focused on dealing with Obese Chicken, there's nobody to help out the rest of William & Mary. They all fall down, and Auburn University has control of the game-winning point.
Not quite sure how Obese Chicken managed to keep 2 players from William & Mary locked up for the entirety of that fight, but evidently they did, and the Auburn University get a fight win basically solely off the back of that. Hard cleared like it's Counter-Strike in the corner, but we'll be able to escape with the fade. And Auburn University still in a very good spot to convert Surabasa here.
Obese Chicken and Riptide both kind of on their own little adventure. Auburn University looks like they want to keep the fights outside of the tight point where it really would give Max the advantage here, especially with that ult. You see him kind of set up, trying to take the fight away from it. Now trying to draw William & Mary into the point while keeping their own distance. They've got some time to burn on this, and that move is going to find XCD out on a different angle. The Brad here doing such a good job creating all these different off angles that William & Mary has such a hard time dealing with on their current comp. In the meantime, though, this point's flipped, so even though they're going to find the fight win, William & Mary should have another chance to contest this point.
It's going to be tough, though. It's going to be very, very tough, especially considering how much Auburn University is like fighting off point, off piste, off, maybe even in the exactly, there's just a space outside of the point. Lamp's forced early. There's not even a chance for a touch before Lamp is gone. Blade popped early. We'll find absolutely nothing. Naisu expecting somebody to play the point, but instead, a flip's going to give it up for free.
Yeah, it's a decorative blade is really what it comes down to there. Beat coming out to try to protect everyone with no ammo. I wonder how long it's going to last, especially with this insane artillery strike. Obese Chicken gonna find the backline once again. Nuklama and SLM have no answer for the battle Moira. XDD, one final chance to get it going. This overtime ticking down, not gonna happen. And Auburn University takes the 3-0 in chaotic fashion.
I don't think I have ever seen a game like that, nor do I think I will ever see a game like that again. That was a singular event, and to be honest, at the end of that, I am a little bit speechless. Auburn University, though, one does have to admit, were definitely the stronger team today, brought an incredible level when they decided to pull it out, and even when they didn't, some of their more silly strats were absolutely deadly. William and Mary and me smarting a little bit, I think, after that loss. I think First Point showed there could be some close matches between the two, but Auburn University ran away with it and then started getting a silly jig on to boot.
Yeah, I mean, that's just it's just ridiculous at the end of the day. And I mean, I talk a lot about if you play off meta stuff, you have a small innate advantage of like, oh, you know, you don't get to see this as much, you don't get to scrim against it as much. Generally, though, you can kind of understand the prompt of like, oh, okay, it's a Doomfist with a Life Weaver. We don't get to see this very often, but you know, the game plan's like just a little bit different. We just need to attack the back line or just like really focus the Doomfist. Something along those lines. No game plan against what Auburn's doing there. Auburn took the entire book of Overwatch theory, said this is for cowards, threw it out the window, and just ran it down. And I mean, frankly, William and Mary didn't know how to stop them. They played well. This wasn't a roll. William and Mary played well throughout this entire game. I just don't think they had enough time to figure out an answer for this Tiger team.
Yeah, I mean, they were throwing some curveballs. I don't think I've ever seen an Illari in top of the attacker spawn on 3rd points icon vals, but that was a sight we were all witness to today. Auburn University, if that was something they planned beforehand, to be honest, I'd eat my hat. I think they just showed up and played some ranked, and if it happens to be in a tournament official game, their first of the EGFC season, then so be it. And so that is, I think, the most baffling manner I've ever seen a 3-0 taken.
Yeah, with that, though, we're going to take some time to collect ourselves before we're going to be back later tonight at 10:30 EST with Bowling Green University and Hawaii. Meet us there. We'll be waiting for you.
everybody? We are here for our final series of the night over here on official EGF. I'm Montaneva, and I'm joined by the wonderful and talented Loki cast. Loki, how are we doing tonight? How are we feeling?
I'm doing amazing. We've got the late night game. The businesses have closed. Everything is shut down. Hunker down. Get comfy in the blankets because it's time for Hawaii Bowling Green.
Absolutely. Now, I was literally on the other broadcast. It was a very clean 3-0. And it looks like over here on this side of things, it's pretty much been the same song and dance. 3-0 across the board as of right now. Marquette University in Delaware, 3-0 in favor of Delaware. Auburn and William Mary, 3-0. Now, will that spell out a 3-0 for Bowling Green or University of Hawaii? We don't know, but the way that tonight's been looking...
If the pattern keeps, it should go back over to the Hawaii side. It's been alternating. So.
Oh, I like that little pattern we have going on. Okay, EGF, let me stop. But we should be seeing these two warriors duke it out very, very soon. Our map pool of the night.
First, we got to take a look at the rosters, though.
Oh yes,
we got these amazing rosters coming out for Hawaii and Bowling Green. Over on Hawaii, we got Math Dealer, Akamai, Sei, River God, and Benin Lumpia. Math Dealer is someone to look out for. This tank demands respect in their games.
Yes, and on the side, Bowling Green State, we do have Net Levels, Shady Snare, Grand Scope for 117. Love the numbers. I love number names. Nightmare, and of course Zolov repping on the support. Now, it's gonna be a night to remember personally. Like, it's gonna be a really good night. It's 10:30 for us. Like, we are ready to go.
We can take one little look at the maps that we've got going on for this matchup. Map pool has been the same all night, but we're going to bring it home here on Oasis, Eichenwald, Saravasa, Route 66, and Esperanza. Saravasa, that flashpoint, has been probably the most important map of the night. We've seen it be the closest one all night. We've seen it be the deciding map all night, and right now everything really seems to come down to flashpoint at the end of the day.
Oh, absolutely. And the way that Flashpoint just is so flip-flop, it's kind of like a good map 3, because if you are down 2 games, for example, or you're 1-1, it's such a good way to just bring it right back if it goes in your favor. But if you're the one to lead and you want a nice quick win, Saravasa Flashpoint is the one for you. But before we even get to our middle map, we do have to talk about Oasis and the meta we have been seeing on this map. I have personally been seeing a lot of the rush brawl comp. I'm missing a lot of Lucio, lots of Ryan, lots of May as well. Sim, even the Bastion as well, because of the adjustments he has gotten the past couple of patches. Very strong DPS pick.
Yeah, and on this stream release, we've been seeing a lot of that Sigma with the May as well. That Bastion seems to be a really popular choice kind of for the anti-brawl. We've seen people pull that out a lot as kind of the counter pick when, like, oh, they're playing Ryan, they're playing Junker, they're playing, Orisa. Let's throw in a Bastion just to be a force of damage and really push off that, rush that Brawl's really going for. And that gives, the Sigma space, that gives the Sojourn space, that gives everyone space. Combine that with a May just slowing everyone down, throwing up walls. It's been a struggle for teams to figure out a way to break through that other than just mirroring it, honestly.
Exactly. And there's that do counter Bastion, Genji being one of them, even on a sleep, just a shutdown turret for a couple of seconds, give it a little bit of breathing room. A lot of these things can be at play, but when you pair Bastion, especially with the May we were talking about earlier, or even the Symmetra, those rollouts we've been seeing with the turret form, teleport, and then evaporate. Everybody is so strong as well. Our teams are getting started up on here on Oasis University. It's gonna be a battle for the ages as they get up in the next couple of seconds. What we're gonna be running today, what we're gonna be teasing our casters. Ooh,
Bravi Brawl.
Yes,
Commit to the brawl as well with the Reapers. No fear here. Really, the only difference we're seeing here is Hawaii has full committed to it. They've got this. Oh, never mind. We're basically the same, other than tanks and the Bath versus Kudai coming out from Zoloft.
And look, we got played again, Loki. They love playing with us. We're seeing that May Bastion on the side of Hawaii. Now that speed boost on both sides, coupled with Bowling Green's Junker Queen shout, is gonna be super important to getting to the middle point and that little hallway as well to get something started. I love the high ground taken by Bowling Green, but it's gonna be University of Hawaii taking up. Look at all those bases they've taken up, both on the point and in that little hallway with the health pack, playing those trades. Now, I love the positioning from Bastion here, just kind of weighing out what their tank is gonna be saying. You know, having seen everyone, they know they can take point, forcing everyone to get on the point, and now this is where Bastion kind of becomes a problem.
Yeah, just rushing through there for Gransko, diving into the backline, picks up both supports, and with the legs cut out from under them, the Rainbow Warriors don't have anywhere they can stand. Oh! The pull there from the knife to save Nightmare.
I've never, if my tank saved me like that, they're getting a biggest kiss in the world. Oh my goodness. The yoink back, saving your supports, that's the job of a tank, and Gransko did it so beautifully. I'm jealous. I'm so jealous. But that shatter is online.
You gotta give the tank a thank you kiss, especially since it's the late night game. You know, you get to give the good night kiss at this point.
Give the homies a little kiss in the forehead. Oh, big shatter, but the Suzu negating that off possibility for University of Hawaii, and there's a Rampage forcing Ryan to get out of there, and everyone's down for the count.
Amazing. Rampage there catches everybody in its wake, and no one from Hawaii able to do anything about it. No amount of immortality is going to last for that long. I think what we're seeing here is two different focuses from these teams. University of Hawaii has really built themselves to sustain fights, you know, keep the rotation up, keep the cycles up. Meanwhile, Bowling Green committing everything to that first attack.
All right, so there's a huge turnout here, switching over to the Junkrat, getting some more explosive burst power with that Bastion as well. That's 2 picks gone and dusted for Bowling Green, and the artillery cannon is actually going to be taking another gamble at Bowling Green's team here, when that allows University of Hawaii to start taking some points and start activating the poke from themselves. 67 to 5%, definitely doable. You have a lot of spare time to really play around with, and again, it is only the first round. So many things can really happen here.
Yeah, and I love that Hawaii's already putting those adjustments that we want to be seeing from them the entire night into practice, getting the Junkrat out here. But look at this, overclock now, trying to cleave through, find that single target, and with the entire team of Bowling Green jumping into the back line, surprisingly, they're not going to find a lot from all that aggression.
No, they're not. Say, however, is going to be finding a whole lot of kills right here. Just so good. Unfortunate. Oh, look at the new soldier skin. I see you. Unfortunately, not going to be able to really capitalize on that overclock, unfortunately. But we do have a Death Blossom ramping up here. And I feel like Shady Snare is about to become a little bit shady in a second. You know, I feel it happening. Going for the backline, going for the Bastion first. Anything that will give them a little bit of advantage. But that Riptire takes out Night Levels immediately, but having to force out the Death Blossom. And then you fall to say on the Junkrat. A lot of good trades happening there. Another Shatter taking care of Kiriko. No, not quite. Beautiful survivability, but we take a good trade.
Both tank ults being popped there. Neither of them really finding a whole lot, but it's going to be Bowling Green State who gets onto the point. For how long do they get to stay there is the question. Pretty long, as both of the kills will come through onto the important targets. That just leaves River God. Still, though, Hawaii trickling in here, trying to get every single percent they can. And still, Math Dealer not willing to let good enough alone.
Absolutely not, but at the very least, look how even the percentages definitely get in with 1 or 2 more pushes and 2 more team fights to start something here. Night Levels, look at this. I love this offering that they're going for, and able to get some extra damage off of the area of damage. Now we're going in the Bastion, having to utilize that artillery cannon already, make some space for us, and can we do so? We get rid of the Kiriko. Zilla down for the count. We have to push now or never, and they definitely do with the brawl. They have to. Window is popped. That Jungle Queen is going to be falling, and Grant does do so. Now Level is kind of abandoned here, and instead of giving them ult charge, decides to just SD, regroup the team, and get this, hopefully another grand push starting. But honestly, University of Hawaii is going to push forward, likely, and negate that option from even happening.
Yeah, Hawaii here trying to stuff it with Shady Snare out. chances of Bowling Green able to get to this point are decreasing rapidly. Still, they'll get just enough off of it. Night Level's able to find a pick. Night Level's continuing to put in damage. Gets the Immortality out, now looking for a little bit more, but River God's got the shots. They're taking out a support and a DPS, where Akamai finds Grant. It's just up to Nightmare. They're in their own Nightmare now, but the beat comes down for both them and their Tracer. Keeping things alive for a little bit longer. Can they get the boop into the hole? No, they can't. Just barely misses. And River God eventually takes down Tracer and Nightmare. River God on a tear right now.
That was beautiful, beautiful clutch gameplay from River God. You know, you did see a couple of their other teammates drop down. That was supposed to go towards Bowling Green, correct? But it's a fact that River God, which is on top of it, has basically your Baptiste. You have 3 life bars, technically. You know, you have Immortality Field, you have the Area of Healing, and you have, of course, your base health bar. You should be able to take these fights, and River God did that, and then some. So, moving over to the next point, this was a little bit more open, not too cramped up. You have a lot of extra space to run around with, and we're going to be seeing a slight switch here. Like you were saying, we are seeing the Sigma and the Echo and the Brig as well. On the side of Bowling Green, we're going to be seeing, I believe, the same comp, pretty much, except for Zolov swapping over to the BAP instead of the Kiriko, looking for that same amount of pressure that River got able to put on.
Yeah, I like this play here by Hawaii to really try and spread the angles out as much as possible while still giving Math Dealer the support they need to put up a front with that Brig. But they're getting rushed on so quickly now. They're trying to suck what they can to stay alive. Gonna have to use the ammo as well. And Hawaii's been totally cleared out of this one area. Here's the chance to respond as Bowling Green's used a lot of resources to even get to this point. But Math Dealer, it looks like they're all out on their lonesome there, just completely isolated. Even though they have the support behind them, it just doesn't matter.
It's not gonna be enough right here, right now. That was such a really good push from Bowling Green, and just like that, the push comes with the cleanup, comes with 60% on the board and counting. That was a beautiful, low-key, a really good defense and a push at the same time. They defended that little hallway very well, and then they pushed even further in, and not even allowing University of Hawaii to get a second on. Their toes weren't even touching the objective. Now, Matthew is going to be coming right in once more, and getting a little bit of chip damage from the Sojourn. Not going to be enough. But look at this, popping the window, I'm sorry, immediately. Can we get a kill here? No! Shady Snare leaves the situation immediately, survives a whole lot longer than expected.
Yeah, the positioning from Bowling Green too strong there, and here's the response as they just rush in. Grant going onto the back line, trying to find a DPS and a support. It's the 2 Sojourn and Baptiste. They've been locked together this entire time. Gonna find one in this lift up, going after the supports once again, trying to find the response here for Hawaii, going to find nothing. In Hawaii, they've built their whole comp around having these different angles, having these fluid looks. They can't find any of them. Bowling Green just is trapping them in this one realm.
Absolutely, and unfortunately, it's them doing the same thing over and over again. When you do the same thing over and over again, and you get punished for it multiple times, it just allows the University of Hawaii to win that many more fights. Now we are coming up on 3, I would say, DPS-ish ults. We have Rampage, we have Overclock, and we have a Death Blossom. That's a Rampage right there, coupled with the Death Blossom. Oh, that is a team KO almost.
No.
Who's in the point? Oh, just Bad Dealer. Goodbye.
You could see him there sneaking around the backside, trying to get ready for it, just waiting for Grantsko to meet up with them. And Bowling Green there, after how contested round 1 was, that was convincing. I mean, I don't know how you go from trading fights, going right back and forth, you know, who's going to win, what's going to happen, but Bowling Green just utterly shutting down Hawaii. I mean, just stripping the hope out of them.
And I do want to mention, you know, the biggest factor here is that they're not even using Symmetra, who is such a powerhouse on control point. They're just going in with raw, basic brawl rush comps with the Jungle Queen and the Lucio to boot. And that Reaper, the survivability this whole team has, the movement ability they have, is honestly superior to that of Hawaii. You have Reaper's teleport and his fade away. You have Sojourner's jump. You have Jungle Queen's shout. So many things at your disposal that's keeping you alive longer than Hawaii wants them to.
Yeah, Hawaii right now just not able to find their pick. I like that they've taken a note out of Bowling Green's book, though, adapted for some mobility. That last comp, very, very stationary. This time, they've adapted everything to let's play far, let's play wide, let's find our individual targets and get them. At the moment, though, not finding a whole lot of entry. Looking on the background, Math Dealer trying to find something against the opposing team's tank and just locked down, surrounded by the Falcons. Eventually, they're going to get a pick. Somehow, they're still alive inside of all of this chaos. But the rest of Hawaii is so spread out. It's like just a bunch of 1v1s at the moment.
It was a 1v1. One of the 1v1s we did see was Night Level taking over Akami, negating University of Hawaii's battle force for a second there, and that is what kind of allowed Hawaii to kind of bring it right. Not Hawaii, I'm sorry. To bring Bowling Green back into the advantage state, back into the dominance control here. University of Hawaii, however, they're playing, like you said, very separated. They're kind of going for the dive comp with the Ana Brig and the Doom, and Sei and Akame are kind of playing their own 1v1s at a time with the other DPSs. It's a little bit just too convoluted and very spacious of them to have to deal with. Now going over to aim for the back, positive mortality field, and that is a beautiful cleanup of the support line back there.
Yeah, I mean, I think this Chaos play can work really well for Hawaii. I mean, you just have to win the 1v1 is all it comes down to. There. Math Dealer forces a 1v1 win with the ult, but they still have to get through this tank play that BGSU has. Grant Scott, no fear at the moment. They've got to beat to help him out, as still no one can track down Grant Scott. We're going to see the transformation get canceled as well, and Grant's just out here living. It doesn't matter how much the rest of the team dies if Grant's still here protecting the point.
And that rampage was impeccable to get rid of Mac Dealer and of course, honestly, the whole team having to regroup once more. Akamai unable to utilize, to really get any picks that Children is really good at getting, and Night Level is kind of showcasing what Children can do on a team like this that's so synergized, that's so together, that's so grouped up. University of Hawaii has pretty much up to maybe two, maybe a third team fight before, they have to this point now, or it goes to Bowling Green. Overclock is on the board here, having used their mortality field and the healing. Can you keep our team up alive? Not for stationary. Having to utilize the window, however, which is so good. Getting Grand Master is so imperative. No tanks on either team, though. Could go either way.
Someone has to touch for Hawaii here, and no one's here to touch because everyone's back in spawn. The Falcons take map 1, and thus far on mainstream tonight, whoever wins map 1 won the whole thing. 2-3-0s sending it on through, and at the moment, Bowling Green definitely putting themselves in position to do that. We saw Hawaii being the team making the comp adjustments, trying something new to get through the Falcons squad, but at the end of the day, it's Bowling Green that's looked better round after round after round. Every time we see something from them, it's looked better than the last time.
They were just so cohesive. It was so nice to see them actively working together, actively taking care of the same target, actively just staying grouped up for the supports to be able to hear them all at once, correct? Because when you're having to go from here to here at the same time, kind of like Hawaii's supports had to do, it gets that much more difficult to keep your team more alive. Now, I did like the Ana switch only because that anti-nade had no answer to it besides a Kiriko, and neither team had a Kiriko on their side to negate it. So, it worked out for a little bit, but unfortunately, it's gonna be, Bowling Green having that, again, that synergy, that comp, just, they're in the zone, I feel like. They look like they're so in tune with each other, and the trust is definitely there. Now, moving on to Eichenwald. Again, I mentioned this on the other stream. I love this map. Love it, love it, love it. I love the flexibility of it. I love the actual visuals, because I'm an artist person. Love the visuals. This could go very poorly or very well for either team.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen everything on this map. We've seen Farah comms, we've seen Brawl, we've seen Poke, we've seen sometimes people pull out Ball. Hawaii is going to be on the attacking side for this one, and they have looked like the more aggressive team. So I think the correct way to do it is to keep the momentum up, try and push that advantage. And it's always hard. You have to defend. I think attacking is generally a better side to start on, if you will. But I really like your point about how cohesive Bowling Green has been playing, because a lot of what Hawaii's been trying to do is pushing the chaos. They want to push the chaos factor. They want to turn everything into a 1v1. They want to really drill it down to microplay. And Bowling Green has basically just rejected that entire premise. They've stayed locked down together. They've stayed in range of their Baptiste. They've stayed in range of their supports. And so while Hawaii's out here trying to fight 1v1s, Bowling Green's trying to fight 5v1s.
Exactly. And again, the more team fights you win, the good chance you're gonna win that map, which, you know, Bowling Green has been doing phenomenally. Now, you did say that Hawaii is on the attack, and I agree. I would rather attack and see how far I have to defend than defend first and be like, damn, they got to 3 points really fast. So thankfully, we'll be seeing Uji versus Hawaii on the attack. A lot of things can go here. Recently, I was, again, seeing the Brawl Rush comp, and I'm kind of glad that's in, like, that's kind of like the meta right now. The rushing with the Brawl, with the Rhine, or the Jungle Queen. It's really fun, it's really fast-paced, and sometimes it can get really overwhelming. And if what we're seeing here is the true comp of the day, the Rhine, the Bastion, and the Sim, alongside the speed boost and its utility of BAP, that is a perfect recipe for a good first push.
I think the only thing that's wrong with it is it's set up to attack of shield that Bowling Green doesn't have. I mean, that Orisa not bringing anything really to protect the team. They're focused on, you know, that space that they create with all of their resources. And so it's going to be a challenge for Hawaii of, can you force out Gransko? That's been the name of the game so far, is Gransko just doesn't die. No matter how much resources Hawaii has been throwing their way, Gransko has been a brick wall that Hawaii just really doesn't have an answer to right now. I think if they get like a good teleport maybe and like flip this point, they might find a lot of advantage there, and that's exactly what they're going for.
Yes, I love this. This is the second time I've seen this teleport tactic, and hopefully it works out really well for Hawaii, and I think it kind of is. They gave it a mentality field of Zoloft with a quickness, and Orisa already doesn't die, so the fact that Gransko is on Orisa is kind of a little bit scary, but the amazing supports are going to keep the team alive a lot longer. Chasner on the Junkrat getting some extra damage in, but that pylon is going to be the biggest factor here in order to keep that back line alive even longer. Even the teleporter going underneath the bridge here, pretty much forcing University of Hawaii off of their main game plan and forcing to get away from the point.
Yeah, I really like this re-engage here from Hawaii. Great job disengaging, and now the attack back in. 2 kills going to come out within. The rest of BGSU is falling. Math Dealer, a great shot there right into the back line. And the moment they took out the supports for Bowling Green, there wasn't anyone left to support Gransko. Gransko has been, as I said before, an anchor for this squad, but when you have no supports, it doesn't matter how well you can rotate your abilities. Eventually, you're going to get burned down by something like a Bastion. In Hawaii, already setting up for this next fight. They don't need cart progress, they need kills.
I love this push from Hawaii so much. They said, don't worry, we'll just go to you. No need to walk from spawn. But that is a captive sun blowing up Akamai immediately, and that's already a really good push from Bowling Green to get one. The cart did go a pretty good distance. It went past the gate, right? But that was a really good defense of Bowling Green. Now, can we stay alive for this? I'm sorry, not stay alive, but can we defend on this point? I think so. This choke put people in a chokehold. So much so that Matt Dealer goes over to the Winston.
I mean, this choke is like a 1.5 almost, with how brutal it is to get past. I really like this spread defense though, especially going up against something like a Junkrat, being able to just keep everyone apart from each other. Here's a Junkrat Tire. Can they spread out enough to keep everyone alive? It looks like they might be able to. Tire can't find anyone, and oh, no, not gonna happen. But it did push Hawaii really far back. It basically kept them off of their advance, burned a solid 15 seconds. A good anti-in might be what it needs to find Gransko. Not going to be enough. The attack there isn't quick enough, but the backline is falling for Bowling Green now. Oh, Gransko!
Gransko just kind of keeping the Winston from going back to the Ana. Absolutely no recovery available for Mantley whatsoever. Rivergun, anyone would keep the tank alive. And Gransko just showcasing what Orisa can do with a really good support backline, that being Bat and Ilari. both with amazing healing outputs. And then the pylon to boot. If you can't find that pylon, it's basically a third support. So what can University of Hawaii do that was as phenomenal as that first push?
I mean, I don't know that there's anything you can do at this point. I think Bowling Green's kind of found the name of the game. I mean, Grant's got there basically willed a fight winning to existence. Akimu's forced out. I think the changes you need to make are honestly play Bowling Green at their own game. Bowling Green wants to play Brawl here. The dive isn't really finding a ton of progress into them, which means you're either having to break this with resources like a monkey that's nanoed into the back, or changes. Still though, even with the nano monkey, 2 have fallen for Hawaii.
And the unfortunate thing is about playing dive is that you want to go for their backline, but their backline is literally Bap and Iari. It's not a Ana's Brig, it's not a Zen, it's nothing of the sort. These guys have insane survivability, and even with the nano, it's not gonna be enough. We are coming up on 3. Good night. We are coming up on 3 ultimates, however, that being Primal, Overclock, and Duplicate. And that's Duplicate already into Junkrat. Ooh, this could be a game changer, and it certainly is. Tire already active. Where's it going? Where's it going? Ooh, look, where's it going? Where's it going?
Ooh.
Yeah!
Oh, 3 people! As I was to catch 2 people and the third support, if you will, in the back line. And then they cap it off with the tank kill as well. I mean, hey, we saw, that's exactly what we're saying. You need to break it either with resources or changes. Hawaii breaking it with resources right now. An amazing ult out there from Say. Finds the kill and keeps it going. Math dealer as well. Now Akamai's got this overclock looking to get in on Grantsko. The Reapers here out chasing him away. Is that enough time to really find an overclock? No, it's not. Shady Snare doing a great job just controlling that high ground.
Absolutely. Just pretty much popping the overclock right now from the high ground. Super important. Getting rid of the lamp as well. Risa is still fortified. She's not taking as much damage as she should, and that allows for that Terror Surge to come out with the Captain's Son through boot. Jeez, it is a damage onslaught, but not on the side of Bowling Green. It is University of Hawaii, Say, and River God taking care of 2 of the biggest problems of this team, that Reaper and that Orisa, allowing them to push to point B.
Yeah, it's a ton of damage being sent out there by the Falcons, but none of it enough to take down a single target. Hawaii doing a really good job there of choosing their battles, you know, kind of peeling off when they need to, re-engaging when the opportunity is there, never, you know, trying to push their luck too terribly hard. As they go into this next one, Riverguard set up with this nano. I imagine they're looking for Sigma here. Rally as well, absolutely just sending it. Say's about to come up on an Echo. You see this raid boss looking for an entrance into the team, but enough damage on a Bowling Green right now to force them out. Shady Snare barely escaping with the help of that raid. And here's the Echo copy ready to go, but Math Dealer just controlling this fight pace, keeping it rather slow as the window goes up.
I'm a big fan of these corners that University of Hawaii is playing around. It is giving so much opportunity and so much utility to that team of staying alive even longer. A third captive son so quickly, and we ate it. Yummy is what Matt Dealer is saying as we get the oh my god, we get overclock, we get the flux, we get everything going here. A lot of trades, a lot of blue and red, but it's gonna be University of Hawaii capping all 3 points with over a minute to spare.
I love everyone pressing Q there. We saw 9 ults in that fight. 9! Everyone deciding this is it, this is where we win, this is where we lose. Last opportunity, you know, don't let it go to waste, and just sending it. But if history has shown anything, it's that when chaos reigns, Hawaii rises. And just like that, they've got their cap down. Not too terribly, just crossing the threshold where if they cap in overtime, they don't get a second chance for attack. But I think 114 is kind of the reasonable time on Eichenwald, and I don't know that Bowling Green should have too much of a problem trying to match it.
I completely agree. This should definitely go to, ideally, a 3-3 situation, recap, and then we see who really wins here. Now, we are going to be seeing the same kind of, like, you know, not too pokey. It's very There's a lot going on here. We do have Sigma, we do have the Echo. Sigma gonna be able to maintain that humongous space, and Echo just gonna do what Echo does best. A little bit of stickies, a little bit of DPSing, a little bit of comboing, and we should be able to honestly, I think the biggest problem here is taking care of that Bastion. Now they're definitely gonna go for the same route of that sim turret right to point, so hopefully University of Hawaii is gonna be aware of that, but instead of going in through the main entrance rather than the side of the building. Very bold.
They've got the sim set up. They could potentially do the same kind of backdoor plan. At the moment, though, just taking them head on. There it is. Sim turret gets him on the high ground. This is exactly where you want Shady Snare, especially when you're trying to deal with Sei raining down fire from the heavens. And with that flop, Hawaii here forced a completely different game. Oh! Sei dives into the back line, goes fishing, and catches a Zoloft without the rest of their team. And just like that, Rainbow Warriors point A defense. Just like that, Bowling Green's point A defense is shut down. They are sent right back to spawn here as Hawaii continues their hold.
It's the immediate switch for me. Sigma, Sojourn, Reaper, and Lucio just to, I think also Bap, just all around, just having to switch up the comp, kind of play the same game here. You guys want to be a little bit more volatile, you guys want to have more survivability, we can definitely match that energy, but before the energy can really be matched, Rakdu taking care of a good portion of that DPS from Stadium Star going down very quickly, and unfortunately with Nightmare going, Zoloft follows. Those supports are so intertwined together. When one goes down, the other kind of falls as well, like a domino effect, resetting it once more. 2.5 minutes on the clock, though, definitely not outside the realm of possibility, and they're halfway to capping the point regardless.
Yeah, with that one tick, things become so much simpler. Issue is here with that big comp switch. That ult percentage is just entirely the Rainbow Warriors right now. Here's the first dividends of that. Not gonna happen. Gets hit out of it with a rock. Now Matthew are in a terrible position. Akamai trying to do all they can to keep them moving. Sei's working to help him out as well. Gonna get the trade out. That's not a trade that you generally want, though, if you're Bowling Green. Losing a Baptiste is worth much more than the Echo. And Hawaii able to hold this one for at least a little bit longer. They've got 3 ults built up on their end. 2 ults used in that fight. Bowling Green, however, the Falcons coming up to almost 4 ults here. So if Bowling Green wants to, I feel like they can basically just everyone presses Q and power through this Hawaii squad, which they very well may need to with only 1:30 left on the clock.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind.
Ready and active. Oh, okay. Yep. No overclock on the board and no window either. Gonna be forcing, I believe, honestly, another reset. Having to have Nightmare run back to spawn and regroup with his team. I mean, unfortunately, that's just how it is. Now they're kind of like, okay, what do we do now? We got to think. We have a bunch of ults lining up. We have Reaper waiting on the back end. Not quite the Dead Blossom.
I mean, you gotta just send it.
Yeah, you gotta just do it. Do it. There you go. Nice start. We got the rally as a defense mechanism, and the overclock we're gonna negate with the flux. Okay. Double flux. That was crazy. Okay.
Come on, they're getting a good pick on night levels to even this playing field a little bit more, and the damage continues to come through for Hawaii right now. Akamai's in the back line fighting a Nightmare that didn't even know they were there. And just like that, Bowling Green popped almost everything, but is sent back to spawn. With how well Hawaii's been rotating their ults, they still have 2 incredibly impactful ults left on the table. Meanwhile, Bowling Green gonna be leaving it all up to Shady Snare. They gotta find at least 2 with this Reaper ult, and I don't know that anyone's really set up to help them out with all of the resources being drained.
Look at the play we're trying to go here. We're trying to go for those high energy. Oh my god.
That's enough.
That's enough. Wait.
Well, never mind.
No, it's not. No. We got too excited. No. I was gonna say they went a comp that was specifically just to like rush it to point without literally rushing. Just teleport or go in somehow and just see what we can do alongside the Reaper Death Blossom. But it just didn't work.
For the first time tonight, we're gonna see something other than a 3-0, both teams with a map win. I mean, this is just a legendary play by Akamai here. The Reaper comes in, grabs just enough to make this a fight, And Akamai just rejects it completely, hits the shot, ends the ult, ends any chance of Bowling Green capturing that point. And after an insane hold, Hawaii has put themselves on the board.
Yes, we are finally 1-1. Now, before we go and, get excited about the series, we do have to take a really quick break. We'll be right back on our next map, Suravasa. Be right back. y'all, we're back. We are back. It is 1-1 recap. 1-1 Bowling Green to University of Hawaii. Bowling Green taking control, and University of Hawaii taking Eichenwald on hybrid. Now we are moving on to our third map of the night, which is going to be Flashpoint on Suravasa. Now, Loki, please, do you like Flashpoint? Be honest. It's okay, be honest.
I like watching it.
I love that we all have the same opinion. I love watching Flashpoint.
It's so fun to watch. To play just feels so uncoordinated. You know, it feels like the rug is being constantly swept out from under you, honestly. But to watch it, it's so exciting. I feel like the map was made explicitly for like casted tournaments.
Oh, absolutely. It was definitely made for casters to be like, oh my god, this happened, then this happened, and the timer is faster, and da-da-da-da-da-da. Oh my god, Reaper. Like, a lot of things just happen in a second, and that's also why I think it can be both a really good like middle point of the series in terms of maps and like modes, or it can be a really good finisher as like a game 5. Go on so quickly, and it's nothing like Control Point whatsoever, like in terms of speed, in terms of setups, in terms of, you know, the overall vibe of Flashpoint. It's not the same coordination that Control Point has. It's just, like you said, it's hectic, it's a lot of things happening, the rug gets up under you, sometimes you have bad RNG and the spawn is like 1,000 meters from you, but it's 50 meters from your enemy. Lots of things do happen on Flashpoint, which we'll be seeing very momentarily.
Yeah, I feel like that chaos might kind of lean Hawaii's way. We've seen both teams be dominant at different map types. We saw Bowling Green be dominant on Control when it is that point structure, but we also saw Hawaii be dominant on Eichenwald, where they kind of played with a little bit more chaos, a little bit more speed, a little bit more, you know, changing up of the pace. And because of that, I really don't know which team has the better chance here, because if we're going like just off of the way the point is structured, then it's Bowling Green all day long. But if we're going off of kind of like the tempo, the style, the vibes of Flashpoint, then Hawaii, I feel like, is a really, really, really strong choice here.
I will personally say, I'll pull Overwatch League in the little desk segment. I will say I think Hawaii kind of might have this one. But I'm looking at the comps here. I am seeing Dragon Queen and Lucio, and that has low-key been the winner on Flashpoint more consistently than any other tank. Maybe like Ryan, for example, because of the charge and getting there very quickly. The only thing that Hawaii has is Lucio's speed boost. At the very least, Bowling Green has Shout and speed boost to get in and get out quickly. So, again, there's not even a Lucio. Wait.
Yeah, I feel like Hawaii is just going for this solid, we're going to sit on this point, nothing's going to push us off. You know, try to put Bowling Green between a rock and a hard place. Bowling Green, however, they've taken a hammer to this anvil strategy. They're already catching out Math Dealer. That's a really early MO. And Shout hasn't even been used yet for Bowling Green. They just sent it, and the kills are already falling. Nightmare taking it back to the back line. Support v support. I'm going to get a couple shots though before they're forced out. Right back on the point. And neither team really set up so far yet.
Not yet, but we are getting a couple of trades here, and honestly, the last two there, with the DPS is gone and both supports at that point, that's gonna be Matt Dealer pretty much all by his lonesome. He can't do anything. He's on point. He's Sigma. Yeah, go. So we're seeing some already a couple of swaps here. We already have the Ash instead of I don't remember what they were playing earlier. I think the Sojourn, but. So going over to the Ash is going to be very interesting. You have a little bit more sightline to deal with. You have Bob, which is always a really good... I love that Bob is a whole person on like points, so you can contest even longer.
You can't chain Bob down. He's his own man. He's got his own stuff
Exactly. Going on. Yes, Bob, living his life. Oh, that's a really good start. That's huge. That's huge for Bowling Green. Lots of damage done by Sail and Junkrat once more, but they're still pushed back so far. Point isn't even in their line of sight.
I mean, this Hawaii squad, even while taking a ton of damage, has a really good ability to just stand in and take it. I mean, they've got the Brig and the Baptiste helping them out here behind Matt Dealer's insane wall, but eventually something will break. Gransko dives into the backline once again. able to pull up with it, chases down the tank as well. That knife is so brutal from Grantsko. Anytime anyone is going a direction that Grantsko doesn't like, they're just instantly pulling them back with the knife.
I love it's just Grant's like, oh, where you going? Come back. Like,
Why
you know,
are
your
you
mom would-
running?
Why are you running?
Why are you running?
Why are you running? That's like when your mom would grab your collar and like pull you back. It's like exactly what Grantsko is doing. It's so funny and it's so useful at the same time. Just how Jarnkun was meant to be played. All right. Again, so Bowling Green is already on this point, and we're already seeing a couple ultimates being used, that being Rally and the Graphitic Flux, forcing out the lamp immediately. That is going to be leaving Snarky Snare, Shady Snare in a precarious situation, but we somehow, didn't really get out. We did get Akamai in the, with getting that approach and getting Shady Snare out of there. Matt is taking care of one of the supports as well. This looks a lot like it should be going towards University of Hawaii in this last team fight once they get rid of Nightmare on that beautiful Lucio.
Yeah, and I know Bowling Green lost that fight, but I do want to talk about what an amazing ammo that was from Zoloft, positioning it perfectly to help out their team while making sure that it couldn't get broken. Sadly, it does mean they didn't have an ammo for the rest of that fight, and sometimes it was desperately needed. And as a result here, we are looking at a Hawaii controlled point, looking to turn both the map and the match score up to 1-1. And with time ticking up here, I don't know that Hawaii is really gonna have to win more than one fight at this point. Zoloft already gone here from Say. The Bob is out, gonna get burned very quickly, but during this time, Bowling Green's been fighting Bob, but Hawaii has been fighting Bowling Green. And wow, Math Dealer picks up a lot in the kill feed.
I'm just saying, you can't be messing with Bob like that. See what happens when you mess with Bob? Everyone's going for you instead. Unfortunate, but true. We do have two DPS ults on the ready. We're gonna be having to burn that Immortality Field to get rid of that Blade. That might be coming momentarily. They got touched now. Hello? Hello? Thank you.
I think you gotta go for the next one. Everyone's so uncoordinated now. They're popping the Blade at like half health. Beat's already there, Emma's already there, everything you need to keep alive is there. They're dying! That's the second time we've seen someone today die on a Blade because of the Junkrat death bombs.
I can't even lie, look at the support. We have support, we have Brig playing tank right now, we have the Rampage being popped as well, and that Jugger Queen has the support of all time on their backside, and that's that Baptiste with that Immortality Field and that beautiful health output. And look at this, Grantsko is just living to absurd percentages. They turned the point. They got it in their favor. They just gotta hold it for a couple of seconds.
Grantsko doesn't know what respawning is and thinks anyone who does is a coward. Like, they don't know how to die. Anytime it's like, oh, this is easy clear, easy clap. No way they live through this. Grantsko just says no, time and time again. Before we saw it off the back of their supports, that time it's just solo. Well, okay, I cast her dead.
It's okay, it happens. Unfortunately, the supports weren't really on Grant's backside, and it is what it is. Sometimes it just happens. The point will be flipped right back around to University of Hawaii once more. And I think that's a really good thing because that's gone basically without having to use any ultimates. I for sure thought that the Riptide was going to come out or we're going to use Graphitic Flux. Either one of the ultimates were going to come out, but thankfully, nothing had to be done there. And we get that one-to-one we were talking about earlier. Moving their way to the next point.
Yeah, and both of the maps prior to this, you know, dominance on one side, control on one side, this time incredibly close. Hawaii's point there, one of the longest flashpoints I've ever seen, going all the way into overtime and then just about back again. But look at this. We've got Night Levels off on the flank, looking for the backline, trying to see what they can find. Grab, not gonna catch more than one. In the meantime, though, Shady Snare has fallen, and with everyone flung to the far reaches on Bowling Green, Hawaii actually is the one sticking as a team and taking them on one by one.
All right, just solo back, and she's gone. Goodbye. We have... And University of Hawaii once again flips the point to their favor. Already ticking up the percentages very quickly. That means we have to get there, and we don't have anything at our disposal. We do have a window on the side of Hawaii and a tire that's still in the back end that doesn't have to be used for a good minute. And hopefully, Bowling Green is aware of that ultimate on the back end. They are not able to, they can't choose which side they want to go to. This side, left side, right side. Can we get past Sigma? No. Doomfist shut down with the rock. There's Sombra going away, and here comes Say.
He just got hacked out of tire. Say there, interrupted. What an amazing play by Night Levels to try to keep it alive. But Akamai continuing to put out the damage. This is a DPS battle. Night Levels misses Akamai. Who will win? It's Night Levels, everybody. Bowling Green off the back of an amazing play on the Sombra. Keeps this point alive for just that little bit longer. And because of that amazing play, Bowling Green has all of their ults up on this new comp other than Coalescence.
Huge fan of the Sombra. Oh, I'm a huge fan of the rework in general. The way that
so good.
Night Levels just showcased that whole rework in question, utilizing the hack and the virus on Math Dealer and just melting him immediately, and then EMP to boot. Yeah, you're all dead.
Oh no.
You're all dead.
Goodbye. Oh, no, they're not.
Wait,
they're not.
wait.
They're turning this right around. Hawaii, not willing to go silently into the night, ends up winning barely off the back of their DPS Say, who is saying, I'm the best Mei in the game. Get away from me.
Alright, Sombra gonna be the first one to get there. Her movement speed was reduced by a good amount, but still gonna be enough to get there first, contest for a little bit, just enough for the rest of the team to come back and, get something started here. Got contest now or forever hold your peace, and they do. Gonna be taking care of supports, hopefully, going in for Meteor Strike. Who we gonna hit? Who we gonna hit? Alright, getting rid of the lamp, likely for the Dragon Blade to come through, and it certainly does. Oh, the wall saves River God even longer. Hello.
Japanese people can all wall climb, as we've learned from Blizzard, but they can't slash through walls yet. Haven't quite learned that. As Math Dealer is controlling this point. The orbs are flying. Oh, Grant Scum, you can't sit in the corner. You can't block rock. It's just too strong. Dwayne is coming for you one way or the other. Doesn't matter how strong you are. Still though, Bowling Green not willing to give this one up, just continuing to feed in. I think that's pretty much just kind of feeding extra ult charge to Hawaii, but either way, Falcons on their last stand for Flashpoint now. 2-1, need to win this next one, and I don't know how I feel about this comp change quite yet. I don't know. It's just kind of chaos.
They're definitely going for the hard dive, but this is a weird dive.
It's a condensed map to try and go for a hard dive on. Like, it's a really tight map with a lot of different off angles and high grounds. I don't know that you can really navigate a hard dive like
Especially
that.
because this next point is kind of, it's very tight compared to the other ones. A little bit of open space, but not that much. Going in immediately against the BAP and has to retreat. Tried using the virus, tried using the hack, but not gonna be able to melt that in that force. Now, the popular coalescence is kind of important here. It doesn't get any picks, as we do see the fact that, I say that Bowling Green is getting some nice. Oh, the headshot from Akamai, just taking care of Night Levels, the quickness. The overclock here did showcase that, University of Hawaii can't stay alive a little bit longer, leaving their Math Dealer all by himself. Can he clutch this? With Hideko giving a bunch of healing to Doomfist, I'm not sure.
Well, the Emma's back here as well. Whether you can clutch this or not, it doesn't matter. You've lasted long enough for the rest of the team to come back and added on a ton of percentage onto this point. Now the Blizzard looking to try and get this Moira. Goodbye, Irish lass. You are shut down on the point now. Brig taking it head-to-head with the Doomfist. Gonna find a draw, and eventually Bowling Green will take this point after one long, drawn-out fight. But in the meantime, Rainbow Warriors have put up 66%. They are 2/3 of the way to a map victory, both in percentage and in score. Bowling Green, if they lose one more fight, that may very well be all she wrote.
I can't lie, I like that the Bowling Green, even though we did say it was a hard dive, they're also playing very slippery characters. Tracer, Sombra, Kiriko, Moira all have some sort of fadeaway or teleport tool that makes them even a little bit hard to control and get engaged over. Wow, this Moira is not dying. Never refuses to die here and keeps their team alive even longer. As we see, this team fight is going on forever and ever. Good ball to protect their team a lot longer here. Love the low ricochet off of the primary fire from Sigma, but they're trapped in this little hallway. That timer is still going up. It's almost at 90%. They have to get out of here, right now. And honestly, they have to contest now with something.
Yeah, I don't know that they're going to have the ability to, and they're not. Falcons evening up the score, and I feel like Hawaii there was playing like they had more time on the clock, because the strategy was there. Like, hey, they've got a lot of ults. We don't. Let's take a dry fight, die quickly, or like, take a dry fight, get them to use all of their ults, get a quick regroup, and then we'll dive back in with our own ults, even it back up. But they just never did the regroup part. Bowling Green just continued to apply the pressure, never allowed them to take a step back. They tried to at one point, solidifying in that room, but Gransko did such an amazing job chasing every single one of them down. Now, Flex Out, not really going to catch a ton as Gransko just continues to put on this pressure. Brig ult as well. The hack comes through on Math Dealer, and they are dead and gone. Akamai continues to try and one-man army this pressure, and they just about do it there, finding two and opening up the rest of the path for Hawaii.
That was a beautiful ensemble of University of Hawaii using 4 ultimates here, and at least you do have window as well, so you can really just pop it in that little hallway or wherever they're getting a little bit too aggressive, Bowling Green, and just make up a lot more space than you really need to. Now, we're going to be seeing a couple of ults maybe lined up here. Nah, not even. Both of them are kind of going in dry. No ultimates are really being utilized here or can be built up quite yet unless we get a really long, extended team fight. And again, it's going to be Hawaii kind of being stationary on point, like we were saying at the very, very beginning of the match. They're very hard focused on staying where they're going to be. They're not going to be moved. They're not going to be nudged. Not even with Doomfist Punch, not even with anything. And look, we're going to start it right here, right now. Gransko getting a lot of pressure on him, and that's enough to get a really big play here for University of Hawaii.
Yeah, great use of the window there to make sure they can just focus all of the resources on Gransko. Gransko there on Doomfist, no other option than to just full send it. And now, down to the last 2 players for Bowling Green. I gotta imagine the play there was to get Nightla with the EMP, but Nightla was boxed out so quickly there was not even a chance. Gransko gonna be the last hope for this team trying to get onto this point. They found a kill, but on 1 health. Is it really gonna happen? Not gonna happen. Night levels tries for the EMP, nothing there for them. And Hawaii wins map 2. The chaos continues to go their way. This time they were the stable team. Doesn't matter though. Bowling Green adopted the chaos. Hawaii was born into it, molded by it. As a result, they're able to stay stable on this flashpoint map and come away with the win.
Yes, they did so phenomenal on this point, and it was getting a little bit scary out there because it wasn't even like a 100-0 or 150. It was 99-99 a lot of those fights. It could have gone either way. And University of Hawaii was just that much more ferocious, that much more managed with their team, that they were able to just kind of take the points and take the win. Now they're up a whole point here, match point for University of Hawaii, as we start to warm up, get right into our next map, which is, I believe, Route 66.
I believe you are correct. And Route 66 is something that I think goes back to how Bowling Green likes to play. It's a pretty stable map. I feel like Route 66 is one of those maps that's pretty well solved at this point. Like the how you play it on either side, how you react, the flow chart is built. You know, it's been well and explored by this point. And I think that leans Bowling Green's way, being completely honest here. But at the end of the day, who really knows with how well both of these teams have been playing?
Exactly. And Route 66, you know, I don't really see it all that often in a lot of these map pools for
it's not scrimmed very much
so
either.
It's kind of like, ooh, it's kind of different. I'm very excited. Lots of things can happen here. I know, you know, dive is really popular because of that big open space you have, honestly, in first point and second point. And then when you get back into that nice enclosed area of point C, it becomes very rush brawly. kind of vibe. Like, it could go so sideways, it can go so forward so quickly, and it gets really, really stressful if you are the defending team and you are being rushed down in that third point. But before we even get there, we have to escort that cart first.
I do like your point though about we don't see it a whole lot in tournaments. Something we don't also see it a whole lot in scrims. Like it's a pretty rarely scrimmed map. I feel like we scrim a lot of circuit. I feel like we scrim a lot of really any other escort map. But at the end of the day, Route 66 is a map that gets forgotten about sometimes because it is one of those maps that's so old, that's been played so much. It's really easy to just go like, oh yeah, Root, we've played that before. We played that recently, when in reality you haven't scrimmed it in over 2 months. You know, it's
literally.
like it. I mean, it's been around for so long, it just kind of soaks into your memory, and so we see a big disparity in teams sometimes of how much they've scrimmed it, how well they know it, because it's either, you know, the team of like, oh yeah, we track all of our maps in Excel, we know exactly what we've played, we know exactly what we need to play next, versus the team that's like, hey, what maps do you want to play tonight? I don't know, we haven't played Circuit in a minute, right? And they've played Circuit for the last 3 scrims. Like, if you're not tracking your maps very well, Route 66 is, I think, the first escort map to be forgotten about. Here, though, both teams set up on a relatively classic Route 66 setup. You know, Hawaii here, they've got the long swing out characters. Never mind, we're going. There it is. We've got the big wide angle characters in the Sigma. Bowling Green, pretty much the same thing. Only difference is they're bringing a Junker Queen to the table, which of all the things that I love on Route 66, Junker Queen isn't one of them.
Yeah, very odd pick here. Might be a little bit of more of a comfort pick for Grand Scope, because that Jungle Queen on Grand Scope was phenomenal regardless of where he was. Where is he going? Where he is going?
He's going back on top of the gas station.
The back.
It's Junker Queen. They got to take the stairs.
We gotta get some gas, and we gotta get rid of the soldier in here, popping the lamp immediately to utilize and keep their defenses alive. Good job on River God, but now you're stuck on that gas where now the entirety of the Universe of Hawaii is going to be knowing where you are, and it's going to likely be trying to get you out of there, and they definitely do, forcing Bowling Green all the way back down onto the payload. So, oh, you're dead.
What a great play by Nightmare there. Would have moved in perfectly, take that health pack away from Hawaii and find the kill. I mean, that's just perfect movement from Lucio. I love to see that, especially bringing the speed into the tunnel rather than like hitting the doorway or some such and having to reset. That's what I do when I'm trying to play Lucio. So, I mean, I love seeing the mechanics playing out there from the main support, and because of stuff like that, Bowling Green here able to survive on this defense for a little bit longer, and oh, the Reckoning!
Man, the Reckoning does come and bite you in the side sometimes, and that leaves Bowling Green defenseless. They have no tank. Oh, speaking of defenses, maybe we get a little bit of Lucio O in there just to get us alive a lot longer. But personally, I will start retreating here and trying to taxi our Dragon Queen back with us. The Genji coming in as well from Sei. I'm loving the way that Sei is playing today, by the way. I do want to say, on all the characters that they've been on.
I mean, they seem to be saying that they can play any hero in the game, and they just about can. We've seen them perform well on every single thing that they've pulled out. And because they were able to play so well on that Genji, they're going to find their point, slipping into point 1 after it felt like they never really had a truly convincing fight win there. But anytime they did have a fight, they managed to push the cart forward just enough that kind of winning on the edges there is going to be all that it takes to get to Street's face.
And that allows University of Hawaii to bring back the full force of their team, with the supports doing a fantastic job of keeping everyone alive, popping the rally, and Night Level at the same time gets rid of Sei. Now that's Overclock on the board as well, but that big old shield is not bugged for Overclock, so we are using it to its fullest effect. As we see Shady Snare go down for the count. Night Level's not able to get anything. Oh, I'm sorry. As I say that, able to get Gransco out of here and then win the Soldier in 1v1. Can we get BAP as well? I'm pretty sure we can, and we most certainly do. Oh, and Lucio?
Oh, no. That's asking a little bit too much. But I mean, they've seriously been a force on this Sojourn, especially anytime they have that overclock picked up. I think every single overclock has come away with at least 2 kills, and it's just been brutal. The DPS duo right now for Hawaii picking up this game so incredibly strong. Matt Dealer, absolute. Oh, right as I'm talking up, say, getting caught out before the blade even really has a chance to live. This is a hell of a flux, taking it right into the real 1v4. But what it's been doing is keeping everyone locked in the room. No one can contest the point. You don't need kills, you just need the objective. And Hawaii slides into point 3 with anyone even, like, no one even noticing.
This is honestly, that clip right there is the best example of Overwatch is an objective-based game, not a who gets the most kills kind of game. And I love it. People forget that all the time, but University of Hawaii certainly did not using that bugs. Just make everyone mad distracted. Oh, Winston's one, Grandskull is gone for the count, and Zoloft, she's following right back with, it is, again, University of Hawaii taking this and running with it. They tried going for the dive comp with the Ana and the Winston, but not even a full dive comp either. It's just a slight dive comp, not gonna be enough. Going in with the Sigma 1v1, the mirror match of all mirror matches.
I mean, I like this change. I really like Zoloft on Baptiste. I think her play there is really good, especially when matched with Grant skill on the Sigma, and this is the perfect point to pull it out. But Akamai, the ninja in the rafters, coming down with the assassination. Oh, another one. No one's even noticed them yet. They're completely unguarded. They're swinging on through, still finding kills. That's 3. Eventually, someone takes a kill that's not named Akamai, but not for very long. 15-player kill streak, still looking for more. Make that 6 in one fight. They're still counting. How high can we go? 7. Can we get 8? No, River God takes it away from them. And so 7 in one fight is gonna be the most they can reach.
That's so funny because just last series I was in, there was a similar situation and it was a 6 kill, and I was like, there's no one missing more than that tonight. And I get Akamai popping off with the Sojourn. Beautiful hold, beautiful stuff, and beautiful push. 2.5 minutes here, Loki, to play with if given that chance. Bowling Green has their work cut out for them. They have to hold. I'm not even hold. I'm sorry. They have to just push so hard. They have to. Oh my god.
You gotta be like a bowling ball going through pins. I mean, 233 on a Route 66 is like 4 minutes anywhere else. Like that's massive. You don't cap with that much time on Route 66. I mean that third point takes so long to get through so much of the time, especially with how lopsided that spawn is. Well, Hawaii played it so well where they took a fight in a location where by the time everyone from Bowling Green respawned, they didn't have a chance to ever hold in that last location. You know, they never had to dislodge that amazing defensive point because Bowling Green was on spawn. The cart was rolling in. It was a stagger fight, a desperation hold by the time Bowling Green could ever really do anything.
Absolutely. And we're going to be switching back to that same comp we saw in the very end of Flashpoint, that Tracer, Sombra, Doomfist, Kiri, and Moira. Slippery dive, I want to call it, right? There's supposed to be a character to it, and then Doomfist being the dive of all time, truly. Now, I'm loving this immediate harassment in the backline. Also, Tormili, Virus, and Hack has to dip out of there. No health pack, but beautiful Suzu from Zoloft. Keep the team alive a whole lot longer. Going right back in the Transcendence. Oh, Amazian, I'm sorry. The Translocator, but not going to be able to get any picks. Instead, it's going to be both supports on Bowling Green down and dusted. They got to retreat here, right now, as they don't have anyone to help them and back them up. And like I said, no one to help you out. You got to back up. You're going to fall down like dominoes.
Yeah, I mean, that's... I really like this full dive comp that Bowling Green set up. I love this full dive, especially when you can put it together as coordinated as Bowling Green's traditionally been able to. Issue is, why has the counter comp? I mean, if you're looking what comp do we run to counter a full dive, it's this comp. You run the Sigma, you run a Torgrin, you run a Baptiste, you run a Brigitte, then you have Sojourn off on the side, able to, you know, do whatever they need to. This is exactly what you want to play to completely dismantle Bowling Green, and so far it's working for him. Night Levels has to go off all the way on a flank just to deal with a turret. They're leaving Grantsko all on their lonesome in order to find something. The ult comes down, still not finding everything. The ammo working perfectly there. Meanwhile, Math Dealer has the lift, gonna get hacked out. Can they be caught at this point? Still no, surviving a little bit longer. Math Dealer is taking the title of Undying from Grantsko as they fall all the way down to 10 health, but still find a way out of it.
I wasn't even looking at the fight. I'm gonna be honest. I was looking at the health bar. Just go and trickle down, back up, 10 to 100, 20 to 200. I was like, oh my god. And then Math Dealer just survives somehow after being hacked, after being virused, after being in a 1v5 for a second there. I don't know how you did it. You're different. You're different. I need you in my comp matches, alright? So we have still have a minute and a half left, a little bit less than, and the team here versus Hawaii, they are showcasing what they can do so well. Overclock from Akamai, that could be dangerous. That's always dangerous, forcing the Tree Alive to come out and protect the team from off on the gas station. And I don't think we're gonna be getting any picks off the overclock, but it does allow us to get rid of one of the best support ults in the game, that being the tree. Utilizing, all right, Say going in with the magma, and against a good cleanup. Rally's boot. Yeah, just Sombra pretty much. Oh, not even Sombra. That was Tracer left, falling and dying, as well as Sombra getting a beautiful team kill. And holding the card's only halfway to point A.
And I thought I was caught up on Halloween. Saves proved me wrong. It's Christmas time, baby. With a Torbjorn ult like that, just throwing everyone from Bowling Green out of position, isolating everyone, putting them in a very, very weak spot, not able to act on the cart, not able to act out of cover, and Hawaii cleans them up as a result. Now as we lead into what's going to be the final fight on this point for Bowling Green if they don't win it. That's a quick kill on the River God though. Nice job by the Sombra to be right there with Grantsko. But the Brigitte defeating the dive. This is what she was meant for, what she was designed for. And Banana Olympia is doing a great job of it. Oh, the ult, not going to happen. The shield is there to guard Banana Olympia just that little bit more. Math Dealer gets hacked out of once again. Night Levels is insane with these ultimate hacks.
This is huge. This is huge. This is the push that Bowling Green needed right here, right now. Hacking Math Dealer is important here. And can you survive the way you did before? The Immortality Field is going to allow it to happen for a little bit longer. You're under 300 health. You have to utilize it as fast as possible. Grantsko taking care of the anti-dive of Brigitte, and then Matt Dealer falling right behind his support, and so is Bap. This is the push they needed low-key. They're gonna make it to point A. They're going to get another extra minute and a half, and they're going to persevere even longer.
Did you see River God there almost fighting off a 2v1 dive? Like they died because they had to leave their cover to go fight everyone else. Seriously, both Shady Snare and Night Levels jumped on him, and River God didn't even care. Burned both of them down. The only reason they died is chasing a kill onto Night Levels. Still though, an insane push by Bowling Green, and not even spending too much from it, really only relying on Nightmare's ult there to get themselves set up. They still have the insane wombo combo of EMP Blade, knocking everyone down. That's the perfect way to get a dash reset montage if I've ever seen one. There it is. They've got the EMP ready, but Akamai here with this overclock. It's been brutal before. Can it be brutal again? The win condition is set up. There's the EMP. There's the Blade. Is the EMP gonna follow? Akamai's got this overclock. Sinded gets 2 kills. Looking for more on the Nightmare. 1 health. Nightmare finally gonna get out of here. And Shady Snare's Naked Blade not gonna be able to find much.
I'm gonna just giggle a little bit because Night Levels tried hacking Akamai out of overclock or try to get some edge damage in there from virus and hack, but Akamai turned around, overclock, headshot Night Levels and said no. not today. I'm just gonna get a really quick, easy 3-piece real fast, and we're gonna continue on this beautiful defense on the University of Hawaii. Trying to go through the side entrance here on the off angle of the tunnel. Not gonna be able to work here as he gets separated very quickly. Lifeweaver having to use his platform, having to be at low health, and then forcing out Tree again so quickly. That's all you have though. The Flux not able to get. Oh wait, got somebody. Oh, my fault. Nice little see Flux right there from Math Dealer.
I mean, we don't normally get to see the Fluxes with how much they're being hacked out. That was though forced away by the DPS of University of Hawaii, not able to act. And once again, time is ticking down, and once again, we're in a must-win fight by Bowling Green. This insane 2-pick's gonna even it right back out. No DPS now for Bowling Green. It's all it takes in support. Zoloft, she's trying to escape, eventually gonna get saved by Nightmare. Before Grants goes all on this point, taking the fight right to Math Dealer. Math Dealer has a window though to play with. River God keeping them all alive with the support through the window. A little bit more. Grants going to the back, not gonna be able to connect with anybody. Gets totally juked by Math Dealer, and now in a bad situation, but gets put away. And here is all of the ults coming out.
Alright, we are pressing Q today. Loki, we're all pressing Q. We got Kitsune, we had EMP, we have Rally, we have Overclock. We have a lot of things happening right here, right now. Duplicate is going to be giving us an extra tank to play with. That's 3 tanks on the board. That's Overclock taking care of Grand School. River God getting the last hit of that, and I'm pretty sure that is going to be the University of Hawaii team winning the series, getting the 3-1, and moving forward in EGF Overwatch Season 5. Beautiful stuff all around, and does just absolutely deserve. Akamai popping off with the Sojourn multiple times. Oh, here, this is the 7 kill. Straight up. We didn't see the assassin kill beforehand, but it was a little bit too long of a clip, but we got it. Beautiful stuff all around, and super hectic, super entertaining. Good hold on Hawaii, good push from Hawaii, just all around great stuff.
I mean, just an amazing play from Hawaii all around. Typically, the name of the game with Hawaii is the tank play, how well the team flows around them. Today, though, they found their match in Grantsko. The tank was not going to be able to shine through for Hawaii here. Someone else had to pick up the cart, pull with all of their might, and it was the DPS today. Absolutely putting on a show. Sei and Akamai doing an amazing job, and a consistent job as well. We talk about DPS, having that insane, like, I'm just going to decide to win this fight ability. We talk about them being able to make incredibly clutch plays. What we don't see a lot of the time sometimes is the consistent play. Being able to go in, fight out, knowing that your DPS is good for at least a kill, if not 2. This time, both Sei and Akamai putting up that performance and doing an amazing job, providing so much value for their team.
110% agree. The way that everyone just played today on both sides, cohesion, synergy. There were some plays that Bowling Green made that were just like chef's kiss. Beautiful rush, beautiful synergy with the Junker Queen, beautiful ties with that team, and then the way, of course, that University of Hawaii played, it was just all around really great stuff, especially from the DPS side of things, and also the support side of things. So we did see Math just live absurdly long at such low percentage, and that's the thanks of support always being there ready to help their guy out in the front lines, which is always appreciated, especially as a support player myself. I always notice these things, and full support on both teams did so good today. So we are gonna be having an interview coming up right next, and
interview right now, actually. Speaking of how amazing Akamai's been, we've got them right here with us. Akamai, how are you feeling after that win?
Oh, feeling good. It started tough, and I mean it was tough all the way through, but yeah, it felt good.
I mean, I gotta ask, after a performance like that, after really stepping up, and I don't want to say carrying's not the right word because everyone did their part, but I would say pushing the team over the finish line. What's the emotion for you feeling right now personally?
Very focused. I get into a very flow state, and I definitely was not. I'd say in terms of comms, I'm just listening. Everyone else is calming. I'm pretty dead silent most of the time. So I'd say I just listen, and so yeah.
No, absolutely. Again, congratulations to you guys for winning 3-1. How's the team feeling? I know that control point, it did go over to Bowling Green beforehand. So after that first map, after control, what was the like the team speech? What was the mentality we had to go forward into your next 3 matches?
Uh, I'd say it was all right. Time to try even harder. It's just yeah, we know that we didn't play absolutely spot on Overwatch, and we did. We were feeling a little cold. We had 20 minutes of like I think maybe like we had like one quick play match warm up, some of us. So, after the first map, we were like, all right, just take it on the chin. Go next. We have good strats for the rest of the maps. Just play it like we practiced, and yeah, and then, yeah, it went and ended up working out.
So I know there's 20 minutes to prepare, but I've got to ask, you looked incredibly cohesive, incredibly energetic the entire game. Is there anything special that your team does to get the energy up before the match? Is there like a ritual? Is there like some food you always eat? Like what's the game plan?
Oh no, there's nothing like that. I'd say that over time we've just gotten better and better at like getting into that competitive mindset. I've been playing on this team. It's been the same roster. We trust everyone on the team. So we get in. Join the Discord VC, and we just know we're here to play. We're not here to mess around. So it's just practice. We're used to matches. I remember before, like even in like other tournaments, when we go a long period of time without playing in tournaments, when we get back into it, the nerves hit in a little bit more. But we're like in the middle of the semester. We've been playing for like what, close to like a month and a half, like consistent matches every week, and so we're definitely more just able to turn that on and just try. The mechanics and certain things cannot turn on quite as fast, but that's we just treat the first map as warm up.
Absolutely. With that, is there anyone you want to give shout outs to, really give that credit to after an amazing match?
Credit to the time we spent practicing and just everyone on my team thinking of comps. My coach as well. We think of comps, we think of lineups, we think of everything, and we try to. So yeah, everyone. Props to my team. Just always put in the hours and put in that practice. So yeah,
Right.
and it's such a positive atmosphere with everyone. So I know that's not. It's something that I sometimes take for granted. I'll fill in for like other teams, like not necessarily collegiate teams, but the atmosphere is much different. And I can say without a doubt, like the atmosphere in Esports, and this isn't just for the Overwatch team. For a lot of teams, it's very positive, and everyone feels like everyone's trying to push the other person forward.
I mean, that's amazing to hear. Thank you so much for your time today. I mean, amazing match again.
Thank you so much. I'm glad we won.
Absolutely. I mean, amazing performance all around from the team, especially from who I would say is the MVP of the match, our interview guest. I mean, that's just classic Overwatch through and through. Amazing adjustments, amazing changes of pace in the play between different maps, being able to play a variety of different comps. With that, though, we are going to be beginning to wind down here on EGFC. We had the late night game. Now it's time for the bedtime game where everyone goes to sleep. But before that, I do want to remind you, we do have CSGO and Valorant tomorrow. So if you want to see your favorite team play in even more games, I know Hawaii especially has a good Valorant team, come back tomorrow for that. But with all of that said, I've been Loki. That's been Mott. We've got Time to Light on the production. And thank you. Have a good night.